make sure everything's working. I changed some like sound shit. So
Oh yeah, because you added channels.
I changed a bunch of things with OBS, honestly, that I probably shouldn't have fucked with, but it's like I was playing around with things and oh no, it sounds good.
OBS will get you for this one.
It seems like it sounds okay. All right. Everybody say something.
Hello.
Hi.
Sure.
Hello. You're perfect. So like 2 second delay. I got you all. All right. Let me shut that off. Turn off monitors and we're good to go. All right. No questions, right? Everybody's good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So where we left off, you had several different encounters at the World's Edge Inn. Still spending a lot of time here trying to navigate your current situation, figuring out where you want to go. If you want to pursue the path through the Phoenix Stair up towards Nykthos. There's been a little bit of questioning about the Feywild and the access through like Skola Vale and things like that. You've gotten a little bit of information, but not a whole lot. But through a little bit of some conflict with Splish, and Crix trying to befriend Splish, Tacitus sort of mildly assaulting Splish, not really, but maybe invading his personal space. You encountered a situation, especially Crix. Crix wandered off with Splish, having sort of gifted him some very thoughtfully collected stones. Splish led Crix to the riverbank, where you initially emerged from the underworld, it being completely clear now, no longer housing the wreckage of the Theros and the things that you had seen when you first arrived. But Splish hopped off into the river, disappeared under the water, and that large, ominous sort of shadow appeared once again, this time finally revealing itself to be Thassa, the god of the sea, rising up gargantuan over the top of the water, pulling all of the water from the bank, creating a massive wave and sort of seeming with an intention of sending it forward. The rest of the party sort of just exiting the World's Edge Inn, not too far away, seeing this giant wave having formed over the treetops. So we're going to start from the perspective
Quick
of...
question. Sorry.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Can from the World's Edge Inn, we can't see the shore itself, right? We can see like
Right.
the wave across, like above the tree line, but like there's like a path through the woods, right?
Yeah, there's a path through the woods. It's very thick forest, like surrounding the World's Edge Inn, with a little bit of a clearing around the main entry. But what you can see is just like the wave reaching up, from your perspective, what looks like several hundred feet over the tree line. So it's clearly massive. And where we're starting, you're seeing it sort of just begin to move forward. You watch it sort of curl and form and rise. And from your perspective, where you're at, you're just sort of seeing it move forward at a very rapid pace and very suddenly. Any other questions?
Nope.
All right. So we are going to start from the perspective of Crix. Crix, in sort of a very rapid motion as this wave was created, you see the form of Thassa you immediately recognize as the god of the sea. With Splish down below and in front of Thassa, sort of just poking its head out of the water, watching you very closely. You saw Thassa throw their arms forward, and you see that wave sort of come rushing forth, split at Thassa, and pushing in towards the riverbank. Do you want to do anything or say anything in the moments that this is happening?
I just kind of stare for a split second as the wave comes. The words, "Well, fuck," just leaves my mouth. And I slam both hands into the ground as I basically say a couple of incantations. I'm going to cast. What level would this be? Yeah, I'm gonna cast a 5th level of Wall of Stone, and basically how I want to do it is I basically want all the stone walls to expand outward and kind of like slope, almost kind of like the front of like a bullet train, and have a side wall panel kind of like cover one side. And I'm just gonna duck down and just brace.
Okay. That is an architectural feat. I think I understand what you're saying. Um, okay. So you throw your arms in, you cast this spell, you create some stone walls, and you get behind them to try and protect yourself as best you can, basically. Right.
Yes.
Okay. So you lose sight of everything, you fall back behind the wall, and you hear the sound of the water sort of rushing forward. After a moment, you hear a massive crash. This water sort of, it sounds like it has collided with something. Spray from the river water comes rushing forth and sort of getting you just a little bit. You don't actually feel that wet, but it gets you from above and from the side. You hear what sounds like a rushing and something moving forward and approaching. With the rest of the party, what you guys see is this massive wave rush forward and immediately connect with some sort of ethereal barrier. The water connects and then holds in place there. It seems like it's constantly rushing and beating upon this barrier. Looking at Saldamina, you see that he sort of stepped forward. His arm, that here, I'll throw his image back into our chat for you as well, just so you remember what this gentleman looks like. So his arm, that golden sort of braced armor, he has his axe held in it, and the axe sort of glows with this bright green energy, and it travels from the axe up through the golden essence of the armor, forms into those runes that you can see on his horns, and as it travels up the arm, you see it sort of connect with the side of his neck and travel up into his antlers, and light those runes up as well in this bright sort of like beautiful green color, and it starts to glow very brightly. He's like muttering and chanting something. He seems like he's channeling a spell. Crix. You hear the movement sort of coming forward as if something's like slaps into the ground and is dragging itself through the sand. For a moment, it stops. You feel a sort of tug at your side.
I'm going to look at my side and just be like, that's your splish.
Yeah, glaring up at you is little Splish, tugging at you with his little flippers. Gives you like a splish, and sort of tugs again and starts to back up.
I am eyeing him very cautiously. I'm kind of now starting to like peek out on the one side of the wall that I didn't cover because I'm expecting a huge wave to come by. And I'm just going to see what is actually going on right now.
So there seems to be a little bubble of space that's been created. You're surrounded by water. It's basically constantly shifting and moving, pulling itself almost like it's channeling into waves and colliding with some sort of barrier above you and behind you, somewhere sort of midway from the beach line between you and the trees. But the water is surrounding you completely and just leaving a bit of an open bubbled space. But there is a constant rushing of water all around you.
So I'm basically in like a dome of air under the water.
Yes. If you look in the direction of Splish, Thassa has changed their size. I'm going to put the image of Thassa back in there again with those sort of writhing tentacles sprouting from their neck. They give the image a little bit of like what you have recognized Triton to look like, but also they have the essence of multiple different sea creatures all sort of combined into one being. Just standing there, sort of solemnly staring forward, waiting for you, apparently.
Wait, she's in the bubble with me?
Yes. At the far edge, sort of where the edge of the riverbank used to be before the water had been pulled back.
I am just beyond confused at this moment.
Splish gives you another tug, sort of like in the direction of Thassa.
Yeah. Normally I live for the fucking chaos, but I'm just utterly fucking confused. Am I being attacked? Am I trying to be communicative? Or I just look at Splish and just go, what the fuck?
Splish takes a few steps back, lifts his flippers up in the direction of Thassa, and just goes splish.
Okay. Other flipper up. Is she friend?
He sort of looks at you, tilts his head to the side, gives the best shrug that he possibly can. Splish.
So you don't even know.
He again just points his flippers a little more sternly at Thassa. Splish.
I'm going to step out a bit towards where she's at, and I'm just going to early yell out, so what is it that you want?
Thassa stares at you for a moment, sort of maybe judging you from what you can see in their gaze. After a moment, you just get a very morose approach. Splish waddles off and then stands right beside Thassa, very close by.
Look, I don't know if you're friend or not at this point. I'm going to assume neutral at the moment. Does this have to do with the fact that the ship was out there?
You are
Because
an
we
insect
did.
I have decided to communicate with. Approach.
What's that?
Thassa says, you are but an insect that I have decided to communicate with. Approach.
All right. Fine then. I'll stop walking forward, but I'm very cautious in my movement.
Okay. A trident materializes in the hands of Thassa. Sort of lifts it up and clacks it down into the ground. The water begins to more chaotically sort of swirl around, but doesn't make any sort of aggression or attack at you. How close do you want to get to Thassa?
I'm not getting in striking range. I will just
Okay.
be outside of it.
Okay. So, 10 feet or so?
More like 15.
Okay. So you get out in front of Thassa. Splish sort of looks up, gives a couple strange sort of gurgle noises to Thassa. Thassa looks down at Splish and nods, and looks to you once again. So my progeny here says you were kind. It is the only reason you still live at this moment.
I sees. So he wanted me to talk to you, or vice versa, apparently.
I have an offer for you.
Oh. Alright, so I'm going to assume that's the only reason I still breathe, besides being nice to him.
For this moment, yes. I understand you recently emerged from the underworld, and you mean to enter Nyx. Am I correct?
Yes, you would be correct.
I would give you an opportunity to abandon your quest and live.
Wise.
I don't need give you reason, but I will spare your life and the life of your friends. I will give you safe passage across the waters to any safe harbor you wish, and you can live out the rest of your pitiful lives.
I just kind of tilt my head looking at her and then look at Splish. And then look back at her.
Stands very solemnly, just glaring at you.
Interesting that a goddess of the sea on this side would want to keep people out of Nyx.
I will give you no reason. Accept the offer or die.
Crix kind of scratches his chin. Looks back at Splish one more time. So, you want me to stay out Nyx as well, I would assume.
This, again, you will abandon your quest. You will cease any efforts to enter Nyx.
I don't believe that question was directed at you, goddess.
So, say what? I'm sorry.
I said I don't believe that question was directed at you, goddess. And he's staring at Splish.
The water churns a little more aggressively, and the little bubble of space that you're in starts to darken and shrink a bit. Thassa gives like a very growling sigh. Splish looks at you. He tilts his head. Splish.
Well, I always did find it kind of weird that you were in the underworld, so, do I embrace my old life, or do I accept this offer? Flip of a coin, I guess.
Well, we're gonna pause you there for a moment. Back to the other members of the party. So again, the rest of you watch this wave sort of cascade against this ethereal barrier of some kind, magical barrier. It's preventing the water from pushing through, but you can see it constantly churning and sort of aggressively trying to push itself through the barrier at multiple places. Again, it's hundreds of feet above the tree line, continuously just curling back and throwing itself forward against this barrier. You all see a couple figures moving in the trees, maybe about 60 to 80 feet away from you. They appear just as sort of shaded figures at the moment. Sal Domino is still there. He seems to be muttering some sort of a chant or a cast. Again, he's still aglow with that green runic energy.
Are these figures that we see coming from the the
They're coming,
direction of the river?
yes. Moving sort of silently through the trees. You lose sight of them every now and then as they pass between trees, but they do appear to be approaching.
Well, that doesn't look good.
Is Sal in front or behind us right now?
Behind you, in front of the door to the World's Edge Inn, looking about, you notice everybody else has moved inside the inn and the doors have been closed.
I guess I'll just move forward and grip my axe.
Elwyn and Briar.
How many figures or shadows do I spot?
Two of them.
Just two?
Yes.
Are they in different directions, or are they in sort of the same direction?
Looks like they're probably 30 feet apart or so, approaching. One of them you notice has a bit of a golden light glow to him. The other one is much darker.
Elwyn sort of looks between Briar and Tassus and just says, I wager Crix is in some pretty big shit right now.
I would say that's fair.
Should we go down there? We have two in our path at the moment.
They are still
We'll
approaching
wait for
from the
them to
trees.
come.
What did you say, Tacitus?
I said we wait.
We wait.
Okay. Elwyn sort of gets ready, just assumes a stance, gripping his great sword.
Greatsword and Briar.
I'll do the same with the daggers.
Okay. So after a few moments, you start to get a better visage of these figures. The one to your left is the one that sort of glows with that golden light. Becomes much brighter, sort of shadowing the figure within the light as it approaches. But you can see a very like dark cosmic energy of that Nyx flesh within the shadow of it as it is approaching, probably about 15, 20 feet away from you currently, coming out of the edge of the tree line. The other figure is very dark. It seems to be shambling amidst a very like magical darkness, a very magical shadow. As they breach the tree line, you see a human man in a golden robe. He has a sort of shield on his arm with a very strange looking face on it, and um, I'm going to give you an image here in a second. At the very top of the shield, there's a white-winged creature. The other figure, you start to recognize as it shambles through the darkness. Difference being currently purple, sort of blackish glowing eyes, but you definitely recognize the form of Galen Desma. Do we all remember Galen?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sure
Do I
do.
remember Galen?
He
Well,
he now
shit.
he now
I'm gonna
is
mutter shit underneath my breath.
Owen at the exact same time says does the same. They both just say shit.
he's surrounded in darkness, and staring into it, it's sort of that same darkness that you had experienced in the underworld. And looking at him, you almost feel like you're there again. His body now sort of emits a bit of a cosmic energy, that Nyx flesh energy, almost as if he was Nyxborn. But obviously, the last time you saw him, he was of human flesh. The last time you saw him, he was just lying on the deck of the Theros in the underworld. The other individual is much brighter, glowing golden, very reminiscent of the Heliod like glow and golden light. They both approach at a distance from each other, with the Heliod-looking individual to your left brandishing a very bright golden blade, and Galen brandishing a spear and shield, sort of shifting very unnaturally. You sort of see the image of him blur every so often. The facial features on his physical person seem emotionless, but as his form sort of shifts and blurs around him, you see them like almost silently screaming and howling, almost like he's in pain. But you can't hear it.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
Okay, good timing.
I have a question.
Yes.
Would I have put together the fact that the barrier we saw blocking the wave was being cast by Saw?
You can roll Arcana.
Okay, I'm gonna roll Arcana. I rolled a Arcana's +6, so 22.
Okay. So looking at the barrier as this wave is continuously crashing against it, and glancing at Soul and that sort of green runic energy, you can see that same green shimmer from the barrier itself every time these waves make contact with it. So he's likely not forming the barrier himself, but on some level enforcing it.
So if he were to, say, be incapacitated,
It could
that
cause the
barrier
barrier to
would
come
go
down,
down.
potentially.
Okay. Owen, having assessed this, just looks at Briar and Tacitus and says, I have a sudden feeling we really need to protect Saul right now. Can't let him get hurt.
The two individuals that approached out of the trees, Galen and this mystery figure, seem to be circling around to your sides. The golden figure to the left, sort of getting on one side of you, Galen approaching to the right side, sort of getting in flanking positions, if you will.
I don't think it's Sal they're interested in.
All the better then, we can act as bait.
Do you want to do anything as they're approaching, or still just sort of prepare defensively?
I guess just waiting for Guido to get back.
Briar, anything you want to do?
Um, as far as like position goes, where are we in relation to Sal?
Sal's about 5 feet behind you. He's about 5 feet in front of the door to the World's Edge Inn.
All right. I think that we should move away from.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree.
maybe not. It's hard to say. Because on one hand, protecting him, but on the other hand, guiding attacks there.
Well, perhaps one of us can hang back.
Once they've both sort of reached positions flanking you on either side, the left and the right, the figure of Galen just stops, twitches every so often very unnaturally, as you can still see his form sort of shifting in and out. I'm going to give you another sort of image to depict what this looks like, as the blurred form of him is almost dragged from his physical body, screaming and howling silently. Just standing completely still with his spear sort of hanging, swinging lightly at his side. The shield arm as well, just sort of hung as if he's struggling to hold it up. The golden figure is very impatiently pacing, staring at the group of you.
Owen sort of looks at Galen and says, Galen, you look like you've seen some better days.
Get no response. Again, he's every now and then his head will twitch unnaturally in one direction or another. His shoulder will sometimes twitch up.
I turn to the other and I just say, what is it that you want?
You get no response. He continues sort of pacing back and forth. When you tried to speak to him, he gave sort of a low, like, growl, but didn't respond.
Well, looks like they don't want to talk about this.
You're clearly waiting for something.
They're not making any movements yet?
No. Again, Galen has stood completely still aside from this sort of unnatural movement and the blurred essence of him being ripped from his physical form every so often. The other individual on the opposite side, the glowing golden individual, is just pacing back and forth a few steps at a time. Seemingly like on edge. The read from his body language says that he's like itching to attack, but he's holding himself back.
I'm gonna precast mage armor on myself.
Okay.
Just in preparation.
So we'll pause you guys there for a second and go back to Crix. Again, Crix, that sort of safe dome that you're in with Thassa staring straight at you is shrunk and is sort of increasingly getting more aggressive and dark in nature. The water is swirling faster and churning. And Thassa themselves looks much darker and angrier the longer that they stand there. Splish also starts to seem a little impatient and nervous.
Wait, I'm catching nervous there's off of him?
Yeah, he's sort of gazing back and forth a little faster at the two of you. Almost like you can almost get a little bit of a quiver every so often.
I'm back.
I am kind of staring at him a little bit, and I'll kind of look back towards Teresa and just go, you know, there's one thing I'm a little bit surprised with, too. That even though you make this offer, we're standing on the land that's supposed to be protected by Nylea.
Do not speak of Nylea to me.
Oh? I'm guessing there's some hostility. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to decide this through luck. Crix is going to reach into his pocket and pull out a coin.
Okay.
I'll let my goddess decide if I not follow this mission or not. And he flips it up in the air. Does she keep looking at me or look at the coin?
Glaring directly at you, not at the coin.
I just keep looking at her and watch the coin like kind of go up and then fall down. And Crix just kind of shrugs and goes, I don't really give a shit about the results. He whips out the bow and I'm going to shoot her.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, roll it out.
Oh God.
I got. Hold on, let me bring up my program.
Yep.
Because I wasn't going to shoot her until she kind of semi-forced that.
That's incredible.
Dun dun dun.
Attacking a goddess point.
Oh my God! Good roll. 2, 18 plus that 11, 29.
Okay, that's a hit.
Yeah, 35 points.
Oh my God.
Okay, so it strikes through, and you can clearly see a very shocked look on Dasa's face as the bolt strikes through the shoulder. Dasa immediately stumbles backwards. You definitely get the sense that there was some sort of amplified level of damage, and you can see the physical form of Dasa sort of dissipate and become more of that Nyx flesh, that cosmic Nyx flesh where you struck with your bow. Splish immediately sort of like belly slides forward to you, looks up at you, says, "Run, you idiot!" and then
Oh my God.
Those you can talk, you idiot!
disappears through the water behind you.
Oh my God. Splish can talk. Of course.
Dasa clutches that trident and seems to be beginning to charge an attack.
Better run, Crix.
Oh my
What do you
god.
What do you want to do?
I'm seeing if I got something I can do as a bonus.
That's insane. I'm so mad.
Fuck it, I'm gonna follow Splish.
Okay, give me an athletics or acrobatics.
I don't think either one are good for me. Oh my God, nat 20. What the fuck?
Okay.
Oh Lord.
21.
So
And he gets away with
I can't make that shit. What the fuck?
you immediately sort of turn around and dart, and you can both see and hear and feel the essence of this powerful blast that Dasa is firing. You see it sort of channel out of the trident as you turn around and run. You just dive straight into the water?
I'm following Splish, so if he went in the water,
you
I'll
dove
go in
straight
the
through,
water.
yeah. So you dive into the water, you immediately feel the current sort of pull, but you feel another force sort of grasp onto you. You see this blinding, sort of reddish, bluish light collide with the water behind you as you're dragged forward and through. You're pulled very quickly and sort of dragged back out. You feel something sort of grasping your arm as you're pulled through, sort of a tingling sensation as you're dragged through, and you're pulled back out onto the sand. You can see the barrier light up this sort of very ominous red as that beam that Dasa had fired strikes against that barrier. You see it dissipate for a moment as well as the water starts to puncture through and almost bursts around you, but it sort of seals back up immediately after it happens. You feel yourself being dragged in through the sand.
I'm going to take a look, and I'm going to assume it's Splish.
Yeah. Splish has all four flippers on his right side sort of latched onto the sleeve of your arm, and it's just dragging you.
As he's doing that, let's be interested. I'm gonna cast 3rd level Speak with Plants.
Okay.
And as we're running, I'm going to yell to the trees, "You need to tell Nythea that Teresa is attacking her sacred area." God.
Teresa is crazy.
I mean that lines up with Crix not remembering who this goddess was initially.
Oh my god.
It's perfect. It's very in character.
The entirety of the woods sort of darken around you. You hear just like rustling, and the trees themselves almost physically move above you as you say that. Splish lets go of your sleeve and just runs towards the inn.
I'm following behind him.
Okay. So the remainder of the party, we're gonna go back to you for a moment. Off in the distance, you hear this very like crackling like sound, and you see the entire barrier above sort of shimmer and almost dissipate for a moment. You see water start to spit through at different places, as if something made pretty severe contact with it on the outside. But it does seal itself back up. You also notice in the trees, there's almost like a wave of movement as the trees all shift, as if some powerful wind blew through them and pushed them to the side. Sort of passes in front of the barrier and then shifts over. It passes over the World's Edge Inn. You don't feel any wind, but you do feel sort of an energy pass through and push out behind you. At that moment, both Galen and this mysterious golden individual both freeze and look off in that direction. What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna charge.
As
As soon as they which one is closer to me?
you would be closer to Galen on the right-hand side.
Sure, I'll charge at Galen.
Okay, you want to attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the movement to go
Get the-
through and attack.
Can I get the stat block again for the axe? My D&D Beyond did not
Yes.
save the extra stuff.
No worries. 1 sec. I will send it right to you. So Tacitus is charging for an attack against Galen. While I'm pulling that stat block, Elwin, what do you want to do?
I remember it's like plus 18 and like 5d something.
Yeah, I've got it here. Yeah, it's a +6 to hit on top of your standard bonuses. It's a 5d8 +4. And you know that it has that toss ability, but you haven't used it yet, so you're not totally familiar with the details on that yet.
Elwin, seeing Tacitus charging, sort of swears under his breath and then charges at the other enemy.
Okay.
Great sword out.
Okay, so Briar in the middle, you see Elwin charge one way and Tacitus charge the other. What do you want to do?
Oh boy, oh boy. I'm gonna give Tacitus back up and go for Galen.
I also don't know what my great swords stats are necessarily. I don't know if I ever got those.
Don't think you've actually used it on anything yet.
I don't know if I have. Yeah.
But I'd say you did spend some time researching it and messing with it and practicing with it. So go ahead and it's a +6 to hit as well on top of your standard weapon bonuses, whatever your normal bonuses would be for a two-handed greatsword. And
0.
it is okay. So +6, and then you've got 3d10 +5 for the standard damage.
3d10 +5.
Got it?
Yeah, sorry, I don't see a way to put this in necessarily, so I'll just write it down here. 3d10 +5.
And you've got all your info, Briar?
I'm good.
What were you saying, Guda?
Oh, I rolled the attack.
Okay, what'd you get?
32.
Okay. Did you have something else, Elwin?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so I don't have proficiency with great swords. Do I add my proficiency bonus to this or no?
If you're not proficient with greatswords, no.
Okay.
Not yet,
Only
at
if this
least.
becomes my packed weapon is when I can add my proficiency.
Yeah, if you spend more time with it too, you definitely have the sense that you could become proficient with it once again, because it is something that was in your past.
Okay, cool.
So Tacitus, you hit straight through. Galen
19
in his distraction, 19 damage.
Yeah, and I'll swing again.
Okay.
That's 31.
That's a hit.
And that is Jesus Christ. 33 damage?
Okay. As both of those hits make contact, you also definitely notice the amplified damage as you strike the sort of Nyx flesh essence of Galen. And you notice his body sort of dissipate, his physical form dissipate, and become more of that Nyx-like cosmic energy as you make contact. Anything else, Tacitus, there?
I think that... Actually, wait. I'm gonna try and push him away.
Okay.
So it's a 10-foot. It's a strength saving throw DC 16, and if he fails, it's pushed 10 feet away.
He does succeed on the save.
No, nothing happens on
Okay.
on succeed.
All right. So jumping to Elwyn. Pushing
I
towards
forgot
the
the
golden.
extra damage, but oh well.
You can add it if you want. I'll throw it on there.
Okay. It would have been 2d. So another 6 damage.
6 damage. Got you. Okay. Elwyn.
So I had a 23 to hit.
Okay, that's a hit.
And for damage, we've got that's gonna be, and then it's plus 5, so that's 29
Okay.
damage. Do I add my fire damage to this as well? I don't know if that
Um,
comes into play here.
Where's the fire damage coming from?
My Genie's Wrath.
No, because you're not using your packed weapon.
Okay. It just says one during your attack roll, but I think for story's sake, we can just
Yeah, that would
exclude it.
be through your like genie, and your genie's in the, or at least one of your genies is in those blades, the sunblade that you're aware of.
Cool. So 29 damage.
Okay. Make solid contact. You also notice sort of the amplified damage to strike this definitely Nyx-born creature. Is that your turn, Ellen?
Yeah.
Okay. Briar also acting in surprise.
Yeah. Am I able to flank Galen with Tacitus?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you can cut in right as Tacitus makes that strike and follow up.
Okay. So that's with advantage?
Yes.
All right. So 26 to hit.
That's a hit.
And then I actually realized what I have written down is when I was attacking with one dagger. When it's with both of them, it was 4d6.
For both of them, it is 4d6 plus 2.
4d6 plus 2 with
Yes.
both of them. Okay.
And you attack twice with each, so it's 4 total attacks.
Oh. How am I rolling that then? How many times am I rolling a d20?
Twice. So it's 2 attacks per weapon per attack.
2 attacks per weapon per attack.
Yeah.
So the first one, the 26, would have been.
Look at it this way: you roll for your left hand, and then you roll for your right hand. But you make 2 attacks with both.
Got it. Okay. I'll just roll the damage for one, and then I'll roll the other one. Okay. So that's 4, and then plus 6 with sneak. That
Just
is a
the best
sad
noise.
amount of ones.
Oh.
Okay, so that one was 4, 6.
Give Glassy amazing weapons. Rolls all once.
15, 20 plus. Okay, so 22.
Okay.
With that hand, and then 17 plus 50 and
Hit.
32. Yeah.
That's not 32, but oh, it is. Yeah. Yep, hit.
Okay, only 1 that time. And so that is going to be 35 with that hand.
Okay.
With that hand. Jesus.
So yeah, 22 and 35.
Okay. Perfect.
Oh, wait, plus 2, 37.
Okay, and as you make those strikes, every time you make contact, you see those sort of cherry blossom, almost razor-like leaves emerge from those blades and sputter out, and they come back and make contact with this guy as well. So you're doing additional amplified damage. And your weapons as
Alright.
well sort of tear through him, and his Nyx flesh clearly gets burned and sort of retracts, sort of almost overtaking his physical form in ways.
And I'm gonna keep flank. I will not disengage this time.
Okay. Okay, so on that, Crix, for a moment, I'm going to have you give me an athletics roll.
Yay! Go back to my sheet.
Can you do it twice in a row?
What's the over or under, do you think? Because it's an 8.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Okay, so Splish is gaining some pretty decent space on you. He's hauling ass, getting a bit of distance away from you. You also both hear and feel another blast of energy that you can imagine is directly from Thassa at that barrier. The rest of the party as well, you see a bit of a flash. The world almost reddens around you as it makes contact, and you see the entire barrier sort of shift. Holes start to appear in it, water starts to spurt through in different places, but it does seal itself back up again moments later. But it seems to be weakening. At that, Galen goes through with a retaliate. So his form sort of flashes out. That ethereal essence of him drags backwards, and the physical form almost gets yanked into that new space. He appears about 10 feet away from you, and he gives a massive stomp, sort of lifts his leg up and slams it down. You see the ethereal forms of him sort of both lurch out forward, screaming and shouting silently at you. I need Tacitus and Briar both to give me dexterity saving throws.
Remember, you get a +2.
What's the range on that, by the way?
Let me check. Fuck is it? It is 10 feet.
You're at a range, Shella.
Yeah.
You said
16.
dexterity saving throw?
Dexterity, yeah. 16, Briar?
Yep.
Excellent.
19.
19, okay. So, Tacitus, you're able to sort of withstand the effects of, you feel the sort of ground shake, almost crack beneath your feet. Briar, you are thrown off and sort of knocked off your feet and onto your back, prone.
Okay.
Also, Tacitus, you take 22 points of damage. And Briar, you take 44.
Halved because I'm
Halved, yeah.
evasion, so 22.
Okay. Elwyn, on your side,
That's me.
as you make contact, the figure sort of takes the hit by surprise, but spins around and swings that sort of golden blade at you. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Don't like the sound of that. 22?
Okay. So there's almost like a blinding flash of golden energy as the sword slices through. With a 26, that is a direct hit. And you take 26 points of damage, radiant.
So halved. Because I'm resistant.
And as the sword slices through, he makes another side swing with that shield, throws a bash at you with the shield. With a 21, that's a hit. And you take an additional 18 points of bludgeoning damage from the shield.
That is not halved. Ooh, goddamn. Alright.
Okay, Tacitus.
You said I'm not prone, right?
No, you're not prone.
Okay. I'll move up to and actually all of them. Yes. Okay.
What you got?
I'm just looking at stuff. I think just attack. I'll move up to Galen and attack.
Okay. With Shimatsu?
Yeah. That's a 19 plus 8 plus.
That's a hit.
Yeah.
Imagine he said it wasn't a hit. Crazy.
Oh, I need to actually roll the thing because I didn't. 1, 2. 36 plus 4.
Okay.
And I'll swing again. That's 26 to hit.
That's a hit.
32 damage.
Okay.
And I will also see.
Okay. Well, first, as you make both those attacks,
Sure.
Galen's going to pop a legendary action off. As the first one comes through, he sort of pulls back. His physical form turns into that ethereal. You strike the sort of ethereal essence of him that's been dragged from his body as his physical form shifts to the side. It still looks like it does some damage, just not as much as you expected. The second swing, you do connect directly with his physical form. But with the legendary action, he swings through with a counterattack. I need you to make a strength saving throw.
That's 20. Dirty 20.
Okay, that's a success. So he sort of reaches forward with that spear. It gives off the same essence and energy that you had experienced from those Erebos tentacles in the underworld. They emerge from the spear itself, dive into the ground at his feet, and erupt from the ground in more of a chain-like essence. They try to wrap themselves around you, but you're able to use your strength, like your raw strength, to burst them and escape the grasp. You take 7 points of damage, having sort of broken out of them, and you can still use bonus actions and that sort of thing if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll use it I'll use a divine smite. So I'll use the 3rd level spell slot.
Ooh.
For 48.
Okay.
Damage. That's 19 radiant.
Okay.
Does he count as undead or fiend?
He does count as undead.
Okay, so it's an extra 1d8. Another 7.
Okay. So the damage, like, you can clearly see the physical form again shows no emotion, no expression. It doesn't even appear to be acknowledging the hit or the damage, but the sort of shifting forms around him, erupting from his physical form, are clearly like howling in pain. One of them seems more sad and painful. The other one is very angry and raging. But they just sort of, for moments, rip from his physical body and then get sucked back into that sort of emotionless physical form. And that's your turn, right, Tacitus?
Yep, that's all.
All right, Elwin.
Okay. Let's see here. What do I want to do here? I've got a couple options. I am going to. I'm going to cast Investiture of Stone. So, like, these.
Okay.
Almost stone scale like things appear on Elwin's skin.
Gotcha.
And I now have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical attacks.
Okay.
And my other features, such as moving through stone or earth, and my earthquake action.
Okay.
Do I have anything I can do with a bonus action? Let me see. I don't think I have any bonus action things. Oh, I can use my. Ooh. I want to tap into my other special form as well. feel like I need to go all out from the start with this fight. That one attack did 30 damage to me. Okay, I'm gonna use my bonus action. Elwin's gonna like shut his eyes for a moment and concentrate and activate his Celestial Revelation.
Okay.
So we'll do that as well. I can now fly, and I get an extra 4 radiant damage.
Gotcha. Okay, so amping up
That's
your
it.
defenses and preparing for more offensive action, and we'll go to Briar.
I would like to get up. Can I get
Okay.
back in
Yeah.
range?
Yeah, you can use half your movement to get up, and the other half to get back to.
Okay, sounds good. So, am I able to be in a flank spot?
Yeah, you're still flanked. Tasta just moved up and is still re-engaged.
So I will attack. Ooh, that is a nat 20.
Nice.
That was a really good advantage roll. It was a 19 and a 20.
Kill him.
So,
Double your first strike.
gonna roll my 10d6.
T6. Jesus Christ.
All right, so that is 10, 20, 30, 5, 8, 9 plus 2, 41. So double that to 82.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
And the other hand,
Rogues, man, I swear.
Fucking love
Uh,
them.
31 to hit.
That's a hit.
Oh man. Enough with the ones. All right. That is 10, 16.
Imagine if you rolled 10d6 and got
2.
10.
That would have been hilarious.
22, 28, 30 plus 2, 32.
We're over
Okay.
100 on that.
It was actually, almost 200 because you're doubling against Nick's flesh. So,
God damn.
with those strikes, the form of Galen again begins to swirl with the different forms of him pulling from his physical form. You see his physical form almost like wither and collapse in on itself, as the essences of him are just howling and shrieking silently in the air, reaching out for you, but not able to sort of grasp or do any damage to you. As he slumps down and his form just falls face first to the ground, seemingly deceased.
Jesus.
I imagine that Briar did that and then said cool in that time.
Anything else prior?
I will. How far away are we from Elwyn?
You're about 20 feet from Elwyn's back.
I will use my bonus action to dash towards him, which is only 15 feet.
And that's all.
That's all.
Okay, Crix, athletics.
Ah,
Crix is just.
It's just sprinting.
12.
Okay. Splish getting even further ahead of you.
Oh,
You're getting.
this should be that far away.
Yeah, you can see at the sort of edge of your vision now, you've reached a distance where you can see the world's edge in, and you can clearly see the rest of the party engaged in combat.
Imagine getting outrun by something that has like a, I don't know, 3-inch like feet.
Yeah, tiny, stubby little feet.
He's a sea creature, and he's
He's
outrunning you
looking
on
at
land. What's going on?
Crix is.
It's almost
Crix
like
is in
he's
shock,
been holding
okay?
back.
Crix is in shock. But as you sort of push forward and see the fight, you also are almost knocked off your feet as you feel another pulse of energy from the side at that barrier. All of you, again, you see the barrier sort of light up. The entirety of the world for a moment cascades again in that almost blood-like red hue as you see the barrier strike. This time the holes are larger, more water starts to pierce through, crashing down into the trees, getting very close to you as it sort of penetrates. But the barrier does again reseal. You hear Sal muttering louder, chanting louder now, glowing a little more brightly as he's obviously channeling almost all of his strength into reinforcing this barricade. Tacitus. Looking down, that form of Galen that was formerly deceased, you see it begin to twitch and pulse very, very unnaturally.
Oh boy.
The right arm throws forward and dives into the ground. Left arm throws forward, fists both pushed into the ground as he lifts his form back up to his knees, and then back to his feet. Again, just like shifting, twitching, very unnaturally shambling. His eyes were completely dead. Just black voids begin to glow again with that purple energy, almost lit up with purple fire and flame.
Okay.
He doesn't
Nice.
seem like he's able to take any actions, but he still has that spear, that shield, and he's just sort of, again, not yet emitting those sort of ethereal shifts like he was before. Just the physical form standing there very solemnly, standing back to his feet. Elwyn, the
That's me.
golden individual, again takes another swing with his sword. You don't have to make a saving throw this time. He takes 2 swings with the sword, with a 19 and a 24.
Mm-hmm.
Does 51 points of damage.
Jesus Christ. Radiant, I assume?
Radiant, so halved.
So that's
And
25? 26?
Gets down on one knee and throws the sword into the base of the shield, and it gives off a pulse. I need you to make a
Oh,
dexterity
God.
saving throw, and Briar also need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity +2, so it's gonna be 18.
Okay.
Not 20.
All right.
Jesus.
Both of you feel this sort of golden pulse pass over you. Tacitus, you even feel the heat of it at your back. You're able to withstand and resist the damage from it. You feel like you're almost pushed back a couple inches, but you're able to maintain your stance and hold to your feet. Which brings us back around to Tacitus. What would you like to do?
When I saw Galen stand up,
Mhm.
Was there wasn't anything like notable about the way that he stood up, right? Besides just like pushing off of the ground, right?
Roll perception. We're gonna see if my theory is accurate.
Oh, a 14? That's better than
Okay.
normal.
Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. So, as he stood up, you definitely saw his shield was the first thing that emitted that like purple glow, and you definitely saw something reach up through the ground and make contact with that shield that then pulsed through his form and gave him whatever energy he needed to rise. So you can assume
Okay.
that it was channeled through the shield, essentially.
Can I try and hit the shield?
Yes, absolutely.
Is that just do an attack?
Yep, standard attack. You can target the shield. You just have to roll like a really good hit to make
Well,
contact.
that's not fucking gonna hit. Then that was a nat 1,
Oh, gosh.
No.
which is a 15.
Okay.
The first strike. Oh well, that one's better. That's 25 plus 6, 31.
Okay. So yeah, the first
Redemption.
one you swing through and it makes contact with the shield, but it sort of repels. But it does crackle a little bit with the contact. The second strike does cleanly strike into the shield again, bringing all your strength down into it. Give me
9. Oh,
a straight strength roll with whatever your normal strength bonuses are.
with bonuses?
Yes. Yeah, strength plus your strength bonus.
That's a 15.
Okay. And roll the resistance for the shield. Okay, with that second strike, you clearly shatter the shield in 2 pieces. It cracks
Ooh.
and falls completely off of his arm.
Nice. I think.
Yay.
Maybe. Maybe.
Well, that's all my actions.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Okay. That's your full turn?
Yep.
All right.
Actually, I'm gonna try and push him away again. So DC 16.
He lost.
Well, actually, would that count? It's after you hit a creature with a melee attack.
Yeah, I'd say it counts. Since he broke the shield,
Okay.
definitely it can count. And he lost some AC with that, so he does fail the check.
10 feet away then.
Okay. So yeah, you use the last of your strength to drive him off, and he shifts back, still able to maintain his contact on the ground, staying on his feet, but 10 feet away. All right, Elwin.
That's me.
What you got?
Elwin is angry. He's gonna take in like a really, really deep breath, lift his greatsword above his head, and just like swing downwards on this man.
Okay.
Let me roll this. Ooh, a nat 20.
Nice.
Hell yeah, my first one tonight.
Double up your damage.
Okay. Let's see what we get. All right, so that's going to be 60 damage. And then do I double my additional damage as well?
No,
So I have
just
a plus 4
just your standard
radiant damage.
Just roll the standard damage, and then you can add your bonus damage on top of it.
Okay, so 64 damage.
Okay. And anything else?
Nope, that's it. I think that's all I can do.
Okay, Briar.
We'll keep on the track I was going, and
Yeah, at
can
this
I
point,
flank this guy?
you can definitely flank him. And at this point, you probably heard Tacitus re-engaging back there. So if you look back, you would clearly see
Yeah.
that Galen has risen.
Yeah. So, probably curse about stay dead, bitch, and go flank the Heliod guy.
Okay. I'd say as you're coming in to flank the this individual, you see the little bluish blur of Splish sort of charging forward with Crix struggling to keep up in the distance.
Like
All right.
wheezing, like 30 feet behind.
All right, and we attack. 32 to hit.
Okay, hit.
And that is Maggie, get away.
Maggie wants to roll. Let her roll.
Yeah.
34.
Hit.
Let her cook.
Or no, the 32 is to hit, 34 is the damage.
34 is the damage. Okay, I thought that was the second hit. Okay, 34 damage.
No,
Gotcha.
sorry, I'm doing hit and then damage, because
Damage.
otherwise my brain's gonna
Yeah, I understand
not.
completely.
Yeah. Maggie, get. Okay. And 31 to hit.
Hit.
Ooh, I like this one. All right, that is.
What's your damage?
Counting.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I didn't hear it.
Mathing.
Yeah. 43 damage.
43. Okay. So strikes pretty cleanly. You can see him starting to weaken as these strikes make contact. Anything else?
And this one, sorry, Ellen, I am gonna disengage on this one and back up like 10 feet.
It's okay. I'll be here. Will I die this turn? Maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
All right.
There is a non-zero chance that I do.
Crix, give me an athletics roll.
God fucking beat. Athletics. Apparently, Crix has skipped leg day. A 7.
Yep. So you're almost losing sight of Splish at this point. He rolled a nat 20 for his. Um, so
Like 3 in a row.
yeah, he's it was like a 16 and 19 and now a nat 20. He's kicking in. I did say I shifted my dice out. These dice are rolling better.
Oh, man.
So yeah, you see Splish clearly run past the individual that Elwyn and Briar were just engaged with, Crix. You're still a good distance away, but you're getting there. You know, still slow and steady. You're getting there.
How far out would you say?
You are 65 feet currently from the engagement with Elwyn and the golden combatant.
That's close enough. I'm gonna pull out the bow, aim it in front of me as I'm running, and I'm gonna take a shot.
Yeah.
I don't have the full stats for the bow. I would like to use that trap feature.
Okay.
That net thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see for Soul Guide. Okay. So you have to roll the hit, and it's again going to be a +6 to hit.
Okay, 2 hit.
Yep. Basically, you focus on that trap shot, roll your hit,
Ni-
and then he's going to make a saving throw.
19.
19. Okay, and fails the save at disadvantage because he did not see you coming. And so Elwyn, and from behind, you clearly see Splish sort of very quickly run past you on your right-hand side. And back in the distance, some green flash fires through and collides with the back of this golden combatant that you're engaged with. The shot immediately strikes him. You see sort of the shock on his face as a very Nyx-born-looking, sort of blackish-green cosmic energy erupts out from behind him and takes the form of a net and sort of immediately wraps around and constricts him, holding both his shield and his blade to his chest. Anything else, Crix?
No, I'm gonna be, now that I see that there's a battle, I'm going to be more on the side of trying to stay out of melee as possible.
Gotcha. Okay. So as you fire that shot, you again feel another pulse of energy from outside that barrier. This one is more powerful than the past and does seemingly more damage. The holes in the barricade open much wider, gushing massive amounts of water, pulsing and pushing through, knocking down trees as they come down in the forest before you. It does seal back up. From where you are, Briar, you're probably the only one that sees Sal sort of almost fall to one knee as he's clearly struggling at this point to maintain the barrier. It reseals, but not completely. There are points in this barrier that are now spurting water in various places consistently. A little more aggressively as, again, those waves pull back and constantly try to break through. Let's see.
I might have pissed off a god.
You hear very faintly off in the distance.
God damn it, Chris.
Yeah,
Not again.
God is damning it.
I feel like I hear that from 5 different directions.
Okay.
Everybody collectively groans.
So Galen pushes forward. He throws an attack at you with his spear. I need you to make a what is it? Dexterity saving throw, Tacitus.
He's still kicking, huh?
Jesus Christ. 10.
No.
Okay. So the tip of the blade stops immediately as it makes contact with you, but erupts in this blackish purple flame that cascades over your shoulder and throws you back. You go back 5 feet, and you take, let's see, 34 points of damage. It is necrotic damage.
Sure.
Okay, and he's going to rush forward and make an attack with his shield arm, which no longer has a shield, but he's going to swing at you.
Throwing fists.
Oof. With a 2. Absolutely. Just, again, like, strikes your chest, but does not do any any actual impact or damage.
It just smacks you.
Clearly weakened. You are now starting to see that ethereal form of him sort of start to strip and move out of his body once again, as he seems to be regaining energy. On your side, Elwyn, that individual is completely constricted. You see him attempt to fight through the energy of that net that was fired by Crix. For the first time, you hear him sort of shout. He looks up at the sky and gives a shout, "My Lord Heliod, assist me, please!" And he tries to force the net off of him, but nothing happens. He remains constricted, bringing us back around to Tacitus. Tacitus, at the start of your turn, I mentioned earlier that a sort of an energy pulsed through the trees and disappeared behind the World's Edge Inn. You can see that same energy pulse back through from the opposite side now. From behind the inn, all of the trees lurch forward as if this gust of wind is blowing through. As it does so, you see the entirety of the ground below your feet start to sprout plants, grass, greenery, flowers, immediately as this energy sort of pulses through and is in sort of a wave of movement towards the beachhead and towards the barrier. What would you like to do?
So we just feel the energy move, right?
Yeah, there's no actual wind, but you can feel the force of it as it passes over you, and you can clearly see that sort of natural, almost druidcraft like energies begin to create foliage below at your feet.
Okay. Would I have seen the barrier start to like sort of like fall-ish?
Absolutely, and you can clearly see that it's still spewing water in certain areas, and it's starting to decay.
Is there any, I guess, what check would I have to do to figure out if there's a way that I could help Sal?
How do you want to help him? Or are you trying to find ways to help him?
Yeah, like I don't think Tacitus would know anyway. So I think this is more of like a, would he have any reason to know any way that he could help?
You can roll Arcana.
15?
Okay.
Hey.
I'd say you get the sense that, if you moved over there and joined with him, you can maybe lend your strength on some level. It's not something that you're really aware with. You're not really quite the magic user, but you have holy power, you have holy energy as paladin, and you could channel that to try and assist him for sure. Definitely,
Okay.
I mean, with healing energy and that sort of thing, you can at least give him further strength to continue holding up whatever force he's using to keep that barrier in place. But you get the idea that you have to disengage and devote your attention to that.
Okay, so Crix has joined. 2 of them are fighting.
You
Galen's in
also,
front of.
I'd say, taking stock of the situation at the start of your turn, you can clearly see Splish about 10 feet behind you, having very quickly rushed in.
Okay. I don't think I'm gonna be thinking about Flish right now.
Sure.
Given my current health.
Just so it's on your radar.
Okay, I think I'll strike at Galen himself this time.
Okay.
So let's swing once. That's 24 to hit.
That's a hit.
That is 35 damage.
Okay. Swinging again.
And swing twice. Yeah, that's 19 to hit.
That is not a hit.
Damn. Okay. I will use Divine Smite again with the first hit with a second level spell slot. So that's another 48 radiant.
What you got?
There a plus so another 21 damage.
Okay.
And then I am going to after I deal damage, I'm going to use Inspiring Smite. So after I deal damage with that, I can use Channel Divinity to give temporary hit points to people near me. So that would be 2d8. Then
It's everybody within a radius, right?
yeah, that's 22 health, but it's within 30 feet of me. Yeah.
Okay, so that's Briar, Owen, Splish, and you can choose, I think, right? So if you want to give
Yeah.
Splish, you can.
I'll just give it all to me for now,
Okay.
since I'm relatively low.
Got you. And that's your turn?
And that's my turn. Yeah.
Okay. Elwin.
All right.
Everything you do is at advantage.
Is he prone?
He's not prone. He's on his feet, but he is constrained. He's fully constrained by the net fired by Crix.
Okay. Guess I'll take advantage of that.
Yeah. Every action you take against him is at advantage.
Does he have disadvantage on saving throws then?
He does.
I wonder if I should. I know that my greatsword does additional damage, but I also have a spell which would be good to use here. I think Elwyn is enjoying swinging his sword right now.
Okay.
So I think he's going to continue to do so instead of relying on some of his spells.
So you're going to make an attack with the greatsword?
Yeah.
All right. As you do, before you roll it, I need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
Okay. Sounds good. That is a 17.
Okay. So in the sort of darkest recesses of your mind, you start to feel the familiar tug of oath. Your vision almost blacks for a moment, and you feel the essence of that shadow blade start to almost take over. You feel it pull from almost half of your form. As the entire form of the hand that's holding that great blade almost feels like it weakens, and you lose your vision, becomes hazy in your right eye.
Interesting. Very interesting.
You clearly feel that you feel Oath attempting to interfere.
Owen just grumbles, "Not now. I'm busy."
Continue your attack.
What the? Let me think here. Uh,
Time slows down as Elwyn slowly brings his blade down.
This is an interesting situation I find myself in. Let's see. Wondering if Elwyn would what he would do in this situation. How strong would you say this tug is? Is it like anything I felt before?
It feels very aggressive, absolutely, and it's much stronger than anything that you felt before. There's a resistance in you to it now, so it doesn't have as much of an effect on you as it did before. But you can clearly feel that Oath is trying to push his influence through to control something on some level. Your actions, maybe your mind. You feel him pushing through and trying to take control of you.
Okay. Elwyn, in his mind, is going to just say, I've had enough of your games, Oath. Cease at once or face the consequences, as he brings his greatsword down on his enemy.
Okay, roll your attack.
Advantage, right?
Yes.
Good, because I needed it. 24 to hit.
Okay, and I also want you to roll an intimidation for me before you roll your damage.
All right. Intimidation, that's +5. Okay. Oh, not 20.
Ooh, okay.
Shit.
Roll your damage.
Damage is going to be 3d10 +5. +4 radiant damage, so 35 total.
Okay. Excellent. Anything else, Owen?
No, that's it.
Okay. We'll get back to your interaction with Oath in a moment. Briar,
Yes.
what you got?
Gonna move back in and attack.
Moving into melee range?
Correct.
Make an intelligence saving throw.
Ooh. My dice have been blessed.
Let's go.
That is the third nat 20 of the night.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So as you move through, your vision also darkens for a moment, and you are immediately drawn to Elwyn's blade. The dark
This
hilt
motherfucker.
at his side.
Uh-oh.
You're filled with fear for just like a moment as you're able to immediately force it out and reject the infiltration. But you clearly know, having been inside the blade at this point in that space, you know exactly what happened. You know that that creature that you had interacted with in there just attempted to take your mind. But you can continue with your attacks if you'd like.
All right. She's definitely a little thrown off and uneasy with Elwyn. But she also really doesn't think this Heliod guy needs to be able to talk right now.
You're at
Can
full
she?
advantage as well.
Yep, advantage because he's bound,
Yes.
plus flanking anyways.
Yes.
Can I specifically go for his throat?
You sure
Christ.
can.
Hey. Get him, Briar.
25.
That's a hit.
And you know what? Let's switch it up. We'll roll the second attack first, and then we'll just do damage.
Roll the damage first.
Oh, okay.
There's other things happening.
Just all right.
There's other things at work.
Other things at work. Yep. All right. So that is 36 damage.
Okay. And then roll your next hit.
Okay. Oh, just 30 to hit.
Okay, that's a hit.
And
There it is.
is 40 damage.
Okay. As the second blade makes contact, you're clearly going through his neck. You can see that Nyx-like energy appear at the sort of it's to the strikes, but you also feel a heat from above, and the sun in the sky brightens to an almost blinding nature. I need Elwyn and Briar both to make dexterity saving throws.
Oh
Oh,
god,
boy.
not Heliod. We're about to
Yep.
get smited. We're about to get
Yep.
smited right now. Alright, dice do not fail me now. Dexterity.
18.
18? Oh, nice.
Unfortunately,
18's all around. Did we both fail?
unfortunately, that's not enough.
Oh
There's
shit.
a massive beam of light cascades down and completely encompasses this golden warrior that you've been battling and throws the two of you back.
It's been real, Brian.
You're both knocked on your feet, prone 10 feet, knocked off your feet, prone 10 feet away, landing on your backs, and you take 41 points of radiant damage apiece.
Yeesh.
But you can have with resistance, and I can have with evasion.
Yeah, 41 is what,
So
20?
20.
20.
Damn, I'm on my last legs.
All right.
As
Well-
that light dissipates, you can clearly see that net is taken off of him. He's on one knee, but his eyes are glowing like a bright gold at the moment.
Nice.
Is that your turn, Briar?
Can I have an extra action?
Like a bonus action?
No. Well, I guess. Oh, I should ask. I don't think it's a bonus action, but my stabbing the daggers into the ground, full party heal.
I believe that is a bonus action.
Your weapons can do
Yes.
that? What the heck?
It is. It's. You can only use it once per long rest, as you're aware. But yeah, it is a bonus action. You can throw it out.
Hell yes. I would
And
like
you
to
can do it
do
while
that.
Okay, so you drive the daggers into the ground?
Yep.
Okay. So as you do, you see all of that foliage that was sort of, pushing up and erupting forward from that natural blast from behind the World's Edge Inn. It all sort of glows. You see those petals, cherry blossom petals from your blades, start to erupt from the ground, traveling. Which targets do you want to heal specifically?
I would like to heal me, Elwyn, Tacitus, and Sal.
Okay. So the Elwyn and Tacitus, as well as Sal, you see those sort of cherry blossom petals channel out as Briar has just rolled over and driven the blades into the ground. They circle and begin to cascade around you. You are completely healed, back to maximum HP.
What the Jesus Christ. What?
The petals just sort of pass the energy through you, give you that bolster of strength, heal you through, and then you just dissipate as they fall through the air.
That is insane. Shout out, Briar.
I'm glad it's fast.
I had 8 health, by the way.
Good
That was one more. One more hit. It was over for me.
Okay, and coming back around to Crix. You've just witnessed all of this happen.
Yay!
So as you're about to take your turn, off in the distance, and in front of you, Tacitus, right after you sort of regain your vision from the cherry blossom petals channeled by Briar, you see Splish flying through the air like a little inky torpedo. Collides with the chest of Galen and passes right through him, leaving a sort of glowing red hole that you can almost see completely through as it sort of slowly seals back up with that Nyx-born energy. But he drops to a knee, clearly taking very severe damage.
What in the hell?
As Splish passed right through him. Crix.
Oh boy. Yes. What to do?
So that the golden individual is no longer constrained, obviously. You saw that same bright golden beam.
Does he seem charged up with magic?
Yeah, you can see that golden glow.
Cool.
Very interesting.
I'm gonna hold out a hand towards him and goes, well, fuck your blessing. And I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic 4th level.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Interesting.
How many gods can Crix piss off in a
It's
single
like
session?
a 5-minute period.
All of them, apparently.
So
Fuck your blessing.
yeah, like Elwyn and Briar, you're on the ground. You see that guy sort of like slowly getting off of his knee, raging like with this golden power, and it just suddenly completely dissipates, and he just like like looks around, sort of confused as it drains, and he's brought back to his just standard form. Anything else, Crix?
This is so good.
I start like shuffling away like I didn't do anything.
Just whistling a tune.
Yeah, kinda. And I kinda like yell towards the tree. I'm like, so just out of curiosity, when does Nibea get here?
That's
Pretty much my turn.
Okay. As you say that, there's another pounding attack against the barrier behind you.
Oh my god.
The barrier takes pretty severe damage, but Sal has been revitalized, and you see him again, like back on his feet, fully channeling his strength. He had started to seal some of those holes, but this burst sort of pushes through and reopens them. But he's able to channel and get enough energy that he's still holding the barricade. But you see him again, like as the barricade takes that hit, you see him almost like he got punched in the face or in the chest. Like he's connected with this on some level, and as the barrier takes damage, he's also getting weakened.
Okay.
Crix. So from your position, you again feel another sort of surge from the trees. You hear whispers from them on a level. You can't really make out what was being said, but you hear the whispers. They're very almost like maniacal as they pass over you, as the trees are obviously communicating with each other. And you begin to see almost vines appear in the ground, traveling, like surging up like waves, almost passing up over the ground, dipping back in, bursting back out. They pass right through and by you as they travel towards the barricade. On that, Galen is down on... What's up?
I was gonna say, can I make an Arcana check?
Yeah. What are you looking for?
I'm trying to understand where that energy is kind of coming from, if I think it's nature bound or not.
Okay.
16.
It's definitely like druid magic.
Okay, I'm cool with it.
Give me a perception roll too, actually, while we're at it, because you're in a position where you might be able to spot this.
13.
Okay. You see in the distance in the trees numerous figures. You can't exactly make out what they are. Denizens of the woods on some level. They all seem like they're at least down on one knee, but you can't make out what they're doing in the distance. Which brings us back around to Galen. So again, Tacitus, Galen is down on one knee, with Splish having burst through and done some pretty serious damage to him.
Does his spear look similar to his shield from before?
Similar, like could it revive him? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It does have that same sort of Erebos-y like energy with it, and you saw it produce almost like an Erebos faded shadow flame when it struck you that one time. So you know that it channels some level of energy, but you get the sense that it's more of an offensive object than anything that can restore or revive him.
Okay. I'm just gonna swing at him then.
Oh, it's his turn, not yours.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm not gonna swing at him. I'm going to wait for him to do something.
So he pulls himself to his feet. You can clearly see he's extremely weakened, but he rushes forward towards you and swings 3 times with the spear. What's your AC right now, Tacitus? Sorry.
16.
Gotcha. 2 strikes.
Probably all 3 hits.
Nope, 2 strikes miss. The third one does make contact. And it is 28 points of necrotic damage.
It's 28, right?
28, yeah. His form is now almost like more chaotically bursting out of him, that ethereal, almost ghostly essence of him spitting out to the left, to the right, behind, above him, very, very chaotically, as if he's struggling to maintain that like physical aspect that you're engaged with. Coming back around to the Heliod, no longer Heliod empowered combatant. He seems very confused, but he's going to turn around facing Crix and throw that sword down, releasing a golden burst of energy at you, Crix, with a 22.
Yeah, that hits.
I imagine what's his name from Hades.
Chariot guy?
Yeah,
Yep. Theseus?
Theseus. Yes.
Yeah, it's these.
Yep.
And his Minotaur friend.
With his machine gun chariot on higher level. So you take 22 points radiant damage as that
Alright.
sort of golden energy bursts out of the blade and just passes right through you. And he's going to turn around and begin to rush towards you, Elwyn, on the ground, but he's not able to make it. He makes about 10 feet from you. Bringing us back around to Tacitus.
Is that hole that Splish like shot through him still like there?
Yeah, looking at it, it's almost like crackling. It's still starting, like trying to restore itself. You can see that Nyxborn, that like blackish purple energy that is obviously like an Erebasi essence, is like crackling with force, trying to repair the damage.
Well, I want to try and this is a bit gruesome.
Let's
I
go.
just
I
slit
want-
a man's throat. Go for it.
I want to try and swing like horizontally through.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Like that would be my intended action if I could.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's not gonna fucking hit. 10 plus 16.
That does not hit. So yeah, the first swing, it just passes through as he like shifts out of his physical form and comes back into it.
Oh, that's a nat 20.
There we go. So yeah, on the backswing, you come back through. Go ahead and roll your double damage. I
That
know.
doubles everything?
Yes.
Or does it double or roll twice as many dice?
No, you just roll your damage as normal and then double it up.
Okay. 27 times 2.
Okay. Times 2 additional.
54?
Because yes, so times 2
Yeah.
additionals. 108.
Oh my gosh.
So absolutely,
Poor
on that
Galen.
backswing, the first swing he had transitioned out of that physical form into the more ethereal, like chaotic energy, and the blade passed through. But you were able to time that second strike just perfectly as his physical form re-engaged, and you strike that weak point that Splish had created, cleaving Galen completely in half, right above his waist, like right through the belly.
Or I guess like it's like a lumberjack, right? You'll take like an initial swing and then rear back and swing through.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, you had swung through and then you swung back in the other way. Like,
yeah.
Yep. So yeah, his upper form, like right at the belly, sort of slides off and falls backwards. Almost begins spilling that like Nyx-like cosmic energy, not really bleeding. You see it strike the ground, and looking into the ground, it almost looks like you're looking, into the cosmos themselves, as the legs sort of like stumble around for a moment and tip over. Anything else?
I'm gonna grimace honestly at that. I think that's maybe a bit too much for him.
Yeah, that's a lot. And the form itself, like the upper level of it, the upper half of his form is still sort of like chaotically swirling. You can still see his ghostly like visage sort of screaming and howling silently, but it's starting to dissipate. Anything else aside from a grimace?
That I think that's it.
Okay, Elwyn.
Hello. Did anything happen with Oath?
So your vision, like, it started to clear up a bit. You still feel the influence, but you definitely pushed him back a bit. And
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, first things first, I'm going to stand up.
Okay.
So that's half my movement.
Yes.
How far away is this
10
gold
feet.
person? 10 feet from me?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. What do I want to do? Part of me wants to continue my attack, and part of me wants to try something interesting that is not related to attacking this person.
I support your choices.
All right. So, Alwyn, being annoyed at Oat's interference in his fight,
Okay.
is going to fly into the air.
How high?
15 feet.
Okay.
And he's going to, holding his greatsword in one hand, he's going to touch, his. Is there okay? So of my two blades, does one of them feel more like Oat's presence?
Obviously the Shadow Blade, yeah. The darker hilt.
Okay. I'm going to touch that,
Okay.
and under my breath, I'm just going to say, I've had enough of your interference. I don't think this is going to work, but at the 5th level, I'm going to cast Remove Curse.
Okay. Let's see. Oh. So you basically, I think Briar, you're the only one making contact with this. Probably Crix as well out in the distance. You see Elwyn halt for a moment, touch his the hilt of his blade, and then blink out of existence. His greatsword disappears with him, but the two hilts fall to the ground where he was standing.
Bye.
Elwyn
I wasn't sure what that was going to do, but
Oath rolled a nat 20 on his counter. So,
Oh
Shit.
no.
Very interesting.
Elwyn, you dissipate into the blades. You immediately come back to that same space, that extra dimensional space. You know that you've been sucked into the hilt. You see the form of Oath, like, massive above you. It looks different at this point. It has these, like, same, like, glowing, raging red eyes, but they look much more ominous and much more dangerous at this point. Reaching up above you, this massive fist begins to strike down, but in the same moment, the golden form of Pasha sort of erupts from behind you and catches that fist with his one hand and begins to struggle against Oath. We're going to pause you there. We're going to come back to you.
Okay, all right.
And
I've got some ideas.
okay, back to Briar. So, Briar, Elwyn is gone. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna attack the guy. Well, the good news is no one was within 5 feet of me except for him, so I still have advantage.
Sure.
Or no, I don't have advantage. I just still get sneak.
Yes,
Let
exactly.
me take that other dice out. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Everybody's
Definitely
in shit.
in shock. Oh man, I don't know if that'll hit.
The Heliod fighter is also in shock. Very unsure of what happened.
Yeah, so all of us just kind of like stand there and stare for a second before Briar goes in and starts attacking again. Does a 19 hit?
No.
Damn. All right. Second attack. 29.
That's a hit. First one retaliates against his armor. He deflects with the shield. Second one makes contact.
All right. $42.
42. Excellent. So in his weakened form, you clearly see that he's that Nyx, like, in his case, it's this like brilliant energy starts to like crackle and fade as well. His physical form clearly starting to dissipate. Anything else, Briar?
How far away am I from Tacitus and Galen?
You are 25 feet from Tacitus, and just a little bit more from Galen.
Okay.
Call it the same.
I'm gonna
What's left of Galen, I should say.
Yeah, what's left of him. I'm gonna disengage.
and Len.
Gay question mark? Disengage and get within 10 feet of Tacitus.
Okay.
And then that's my turn.
Perfect. All right, Crix.
Yeah. So the dude that was once golden, still golden, whatever. I'm
He's got
gonna
his back to
shoot
you.
him.
You have advantage.
Huh?
He has his back to you. You have advantage.
Oh, good. Perfect. Never suspect a thing. There's my nat 20.
Hey! Love to
Perfect
see it.
timing. You're firing a shot from the bow.
Yeah. 35 times 2. That's 70, isn't it?
It's actually going to be times 6 because
Oh my god.
as you fire the projectile, those vines that you had seen erupt from the ground, they pass out of the trees and lurch up into the air and start to like encapsulate and surround that blast from your bow, that shot, energizing it, forcing it forward at an even faster rate as it strikes the back of this creature, erupting in like wood chips at this point.
You said 6 times.
Yes.
So
Disgusting.
70.
210.
Yeah.
It's
Holy shit.
Gross.
So completely obliterates this guy. You see the shot fire connect with his back, erupt out in this massive burst of natural energy as his armor sort of clambers to the ground and dissipates, his entire physical form having been erased. Nothing left of him.
Nice.
Did I not mention fuck your blessing?
Anything else, Crix?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop moving my way over towards Briar.
Okay. So in that same moment, you feel another pulse of energy as that barricade gets struck again. Sal shouts to all of you. He's like struggling. He's got his arm up in the air, his axe sort of channeling every bit of energy he can, trying to keep himself on his feet. Shouts to all of you, inside now, inside the inn.
All right. Inside the inn.
Where's the pulsing green energy in the ground going? Is it going towards
Out
that barrier?
towards that barrier, yes.
I'm gonna regret this, but I would like to pick up the hilts.
Okay, so you rush forward and pick up Elwyn's 2 hilts.
Yeah.
Terrible idea.
Okay.
Awful idea.
Should have just left me there, to be honest.
And then so you grab the hilts and rush inside.
Yeah.
Okay. Crix, give me an athletics roll for you because you're further away. Tacitus, are you getting inside as well?
What does Galen look like in front of me? Like
Twitching
Still-
barely, still giving off like that sort of chaotic pull, that ethereal pull of his essence, but it's dissipating. Like he doesn't appear to be reviving. He's almost melted before your eyes.
My flick is a 18.
Okay.
how far ahead is Crix from me?
Crix is with that roll, he's roughly 30 feet from you as you, if you stay outside and let him approach.
I want to run towards Crix and maybe like try and pick him up and pull him in, like get him into the inn.
I would say there is a point where Crix gets probably about that 30 feet or so, and he dead stops and he just aims the bow right at that barrier.
Oh,
Not the barrier.
He's watching the green energy go up since I would most likely say notice that it combined into that arrow for the other guy.
okay.
And he's trying to time it.
Tacitus, what do you want to do? Seeing Crix turn and point his bow in that direction, do you want to grab him?
Would it disrupt his aiming?
Yeah. Absolutely.
He's slung over his back, still aiming his bow.
I guess, yeah, if you want, you can grab and run and try and like keep him over your shoulder to the point where he can still use the bow.
It would be a really funny sight.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Damn it!
Okay, so Tacitus, give me an athletics. As
Hilarious.
Crix, the Minotaur form of Tacitus, just basically like pulls you from your waist and heaves you up.
27.
Pointing over his shoulder at this point. 27. Okay, excellent. So, and you're waiting for a visual on Thassa, I imagine.
I'm waiting to see that pulse of energy where it's probably going to break through and just let go and hope for the timing's right.
Okay.
Do I see Splish anywhere? Also,
Not like when you're moving out, you don't see Splish any longer, but you can assume he ran inside.
Okay.
So Briar ducks inside, like right as you're charging towards Crix. Briar disappears into the inn. You see Sal sort of like holding himself, waiting for you. You grab Crix, you push forward. Sal backs up and sort of holds the door open as you rush forward. As you're about 5 feet from the doorway, that pulse of energy again blasts through. Crix, you see it again light up the entire environment in this like blood red hue. Passes over you.
Go.
Let the shot go. Okay.
Yeah.
Just roll a hit for me. No advantage. Just roll a standard hit.
23.
Okay. So you fire it through. You see that those vines almost climb up the barrier, almost spiderwebbing out, almost like electricity spanning out across this barricade as it does, like erupt and burst in multiple areas. You see your arrow pulse through the air and disappear behind it. As you are dragged through the doorway, Sal sort of comes in and slams the door shut behind you. As you enter the inn, basically, Briar, you move through. I need you to make an intelligence saving throw for me.
God.
I wasn't gonna let somebody else get a hold of it. While this is happening, because I know I can't avoid this, I would like to try and drop them on the nearest table.
You can sleight a hand.
You have a +2, by the way, since you're within 10 feet of me. I'm assuming.
Okay.
I'm assuming she is, at least.
Sleight of hand +2 is 21.
No, for the int. For the int saving throw.
Oh, for the int saving throw. So a 19 for sleight of hand.
Okay, roll your saving throw.
All right, that is 18.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So you feel the pull, and you start to lose yourself. Your vision blacks out right as you are trying to toss these things into the inn onto the nearest table.
Yep.
They release from your hands, and your vision comes back. You are able to resist the pull and avoid getting sucked in.
Jesus.
Nobody touched him.
The hilts both crash into the table. There's a number of these beings around in the inn as well. There's a couple new ones that I'm going to drop the images for as well. There's a small gnome. This individual. Now, everybody in the inn is like bracing themselves. Basically, they're hiding behind tables. They're bracing behind chairs. Anything that they can. Sal as well has sort of gotten down and is bracing himself against the door. This is another new individual in the inn. You do see Splish there as well, sort of hiding behind the nearest chair. Sal himself has both of his hands pressed against the door as he's sort of holding against it. And you can all clearly hear the force of the water sort of crash on the outside. And there's very bright clashing of energy as this beautiful green energy sort of clashes with that blood red force, and there is the sound and feel of a very like energetic conflict going on outside the inn. Everything sort of shakes, things are falling over, chairs are tipping. Some of the individuals inside the inn here are losing their footing and falling over. Lasts for 20-30 seconds. As this is happening, those two hilts have sort of erupted in the shadow hilt has erupted in this like black reddish energy that's growing as like this ominous cloud around the hilt itself. Very small, like 5-foot radius at the moment. The other is starting to spark and emit flame. That's sort of like embering and catching to the table itself, which is wooden. We're gonna pause you guys out there as this is happening around you. We're gonna go to Elwyn.
Okay.
So Elwyn,
All right.
above you, Pasha is clearly trying to protect you from the retaliation of Oath at the moment. The entirety of the extra-dimensional space that you're used to is swirling even more chaotically at this point. But you can clearly see the essence of Oath fighting against that essence of Pasha, sort of cracking the world around you, and it's cracking and repairing itself faster and faster as they sort of brace and force their wills against each other. What do you want to do?
So the last time Owen was in this situation, he was still very unaware of who he was. Now being aware of his, some of his history, and not being so.
You also have your greatsword with you, I believe.
Yeah, so not being so like ashamed or like aversive of his celestial side. He is still in the midst of his celestial revelation. And calmly looking down, he sort of assumes a pose that looks something like this.
Okay.
Wings out, holding his greatsword in that fashion.
Okay.
He stares directly at Oath, and he says, "As you can tell, I've learned more of who I am. I come from a line of great power, and you, Oath, can no longer offer me anything that I want. I've had enough of your ceaseless meddling and enough of your interventions in my actions. And as such, this will be our last encounter. Whether I go or you go, one of us will." And
the force of Oath overpowers Pasha at this point. It's pushing down. You can clearly see Pasha is struggling to maintain hold. Oath sort of like just slowly forcing Pasha back and back and back, and that space is darkening further as he does. Staring down at you as you say this to him, "You insignificant whelp. You have no idea what I am. You have no idea what you're up against."
if you can't tell, I've been facing off against a lot of beings, a lot of gods lately. I don't care what you are. It doesn't matter to me anymore. And I am going to, at the 5th level, cast Wall of Light directly across his arm.
Ooh, okay.
So I hold out one arm and I just cast Wall of Light. Anything in the wall, so this would be Oath in this case, needs to make a Constitution saving throw, DC 17.
Nat 1.
Oh, all right, sick. On a failed save, a creature takes 4d8 radiant damage and is blinded for 1 minute.
Okay. So at this point, I'd say you sever that point. As that light cascades through, it severs sort of like at the mid forearm of the essence that is Oath. Gives off a howl of rage as you can see the damage in that light burn into him and start to dissipate his form. The form of Pasha then sort of rises up larger. You can feel the influence of Pasha sort of pushing through as well. Moves to like rear back and attempt to make a strike at Oath. Are you going to allow that?
At this point, I look to Pasha and I say, "And what is it that you seek of me, Pasha?"
He holds the attack back as he looks down at you. "It's the same pact that we made. I wish you to honor it."
Trying to think back on what the original pact is that we made. been a while.
That's all you.
Okay. And then I'm going to look to him and say, very well, for now we are allies. We must force this one out.
Allies for
And
now.
I look back at
But
both.
I want your word that you will honor the pact.
We are in a pact, aren't we? I think that's more than my word at this point.
Then what is the blade you wield?
This blade is a part of me.
Oath is
So
slowly
whether
starting
you-
to reconstitute himself, as you were discussing.
I say, if you want me, then you need to accept all of me. And as you know, my history goes deeper than when I first met you. At any rate,
persuasion.
18 plus 5, 23.
Okay. So you clearly see a little bit of conflict in Pasha at this point. Oath is still sort of stumbled back, but he is beginning to reconstitute. Pasha staring down at you, still holding the attack back. So I can use this moment to attempt to take control as Oath did.
You can, and then I will fight you too. And the results of that are unknown at the moment. Or, alternatively, you can remain my ally and not try and be like Oath, and we can see what heights we might be able to achieve. The choice is yours, Pasha.
Ooh. Okay, so he raises his fist up into the air, sort of still looking at you. He's about to make an attack. Do you want to allow it?
Elwyn remains in the exact same pose as that photo,
Okay. So
staring directly at Pasha.
he begins to swing his arm, and it seems for a moment like he's angling it at you, but he changes his gaze at the last moment and swings full force with that fiery energy, connects with the chest of Oath, who is still attempting to reconstitute himself. It does pretty severe damage at this point. As Pasha rears back, he goes for an additional attack. Oath is still sort of rechanneling. He can't make any attacks at the moment. Do you want to allow him and Pasha to have their bout, or do you want to intercede?
Seeing Pasha turn his fist in the other direction, Elwyn sort of looks down and says, very well, your intentions are understood. And then I'm going to fly directly at Oath and fly above him, sort of.
Okay.
And then just bring down my great sword on him from the sky.
Okay.
Straight down onto him.
You don't have to roll an attack, just roll damage.
Okay. Gonna be 3d10. 5.
Can I get a never-ending mug of water to try and put the fire out on the table?
Yeah, you can go and reach behind the bar and definitely go for it.
Oh, that's funny.
I imagine that you just asked that to the bear.
The bear is hiding behind the bar top at this point. So everything is still shaking and erupting, and the force of that battle is still happening out there.
I want to try and brace the door with Saul.
Absolutely. Yeah, go through it and roll strength for me.
I rolled a 35 damage, by the way.
Okay.
15 strength.
Perfect. Okay, so you move through. Saul shifts to the side and gives you space to brace the door with him. You feel like as you make contact with it, you can feel that he's been holding back some pretty serious shit. You immediately feel the push from the outside as it pulses through, as whatever's going on out there is attempting to wipe this in off the face of the earth almost. Like you can feel the impact, and you have to struggle to keep these doors closed. But he definitely needed your help. Like you can feel that he's eased up a little bit now as he sees you. And so, Briar, you go behind the bar, you grab one of those mugs, and you go attempt to put out the fire.
Yeah.
Okay. As you approach, there's still, you can see the two hilts almost clashing with each other. The fire itself is just lashing out at the shadow, and the shadow is lashing back. The table
I'm
is
not
beginning
trying to
ember
stop
up around
the
it,
sword.
so you just want to throw it?
No, I'm just trying to keep the table from catching fire.
Yeah, so you
The
just want to
swords can do what they're doing.
You just want to pour the water onto the ember and keep the table from lighting?
Yep.
Okay. Make a dexterity saving throw for me while you do this.
15.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah,
I'm in 2 feet of Tacitus. 17.
15 was enough too. So yeah, you're able to maintain your footing. You stumble off to the side a little bit as you rush back to the table as another like impact shakes the ground below your feet, but you do so. So within the hilt of that blade, Elwyn, you bring that attack down, and it cleaves straight through Oath, and you see his energy almost split completely as it comes down. And you swing that blade, you come down, you feel the force of another pass of Pasha's right fist at this point, as it takes advantage and strikes at Oath, doing additional damage, and that bright orange flame begins to like penetrate and dissipate him to the point where there is not much left of him. The entirety of the extra dimensional space begins to revitalize itself and look more like that original form, the more like natural form that you had originally experienced the energy of Pasha with. The essence of Oath shrinks down and becomes like almost a standard humanoid form, and it drops forward like onto a knee, still like a shadowy cloud essence with those glowing red eyes, but it is clearly defeated and much smaller, like a standard humanoid form, as you sort of probably land to the ground having finished that blow. Pasha still remains large and like looming over, sort of like looking at you, awaiting your decision.
So I land in front of Oath, the wall of light still active behind me.
Okay.
And I like raise my greatsword and sort of place it next to his neck. And I say, think about this for a second.
Okay.
Okay. Elwyn sort of looks at Oath and says, Oath, your greed was your undoing. Perhaps if you hadn't been so greedy, we may have been able to see eye to eye, but now it is too late, and I have had enough of you. And trust me when I say this, when I reclaim my full power, my full glory, I will find you. And then he swings his greatsword and just severs his neck.
Just before you sever the neck, he looks up at you, and those eyes sort of like glaze through you, and he says, I'll be waiting with your father, as you cut through and destroy what's left of him. On the outside, that shadowy energy like crackles and bursts out, darkens the entirety of the room, to the point where your vision is almost completely obscured just for a moment. And Briar, you can clearly see that shadow blade just cracks and breaks, shattering into almost 100 little tiny pieces on the table.
Oh, thank God.
Elwyn.
Having done this, I undo the wall of light spell.
Okay. Pasha
I look.
returns himself to a more normal form, standard humanoid size.
I look back at Pasha, and I say, Pasha, I have a request of you.
Yes.
Let us undo our former pact and form a new one.
He seems a little wary at first, but he walks up, gets face to face with you. What do you have in mind?
Well, I would like us to, together, abandon the Sunblade, form our pact with this weapon here. And with it, I will kill both my father and Oath, and I will free you from your prison.
He looks at the blade and he sort of takes it in for a moment, reaches his arm forward and circulates that fiery energy of his sort of around the hilt and down the blade of the weapon. Looks to you and this is acceptable.
If we truly combine our powers, I think we can achieve great things.
I will do as you wish, but know, Elwyn, if you break this pact, at any moment there would be great consequence.
I think this pact is favorable for me too, as compared to the old one, and as such, I think we will get along just fine, Pasha.
Very well. submit to the merge?
Do.
Okay, as you do, his orange glow starts to change. First, he becomes almost like a white, ghostly flame, but he begins to take more of a solid celestial form. You definitely recognize the form of what you had recognized in the past with your original form in the old world that you had experienced in your dreams and your visions. He takes some like almost a solid silver form, like almost Silver Surfer like visage, becoming very solid, with a very Nyx like energy traveling through him as well. But you know that it's not the same Nyx like energy that you've experienced here on Theros. You know that it's something of a counter, so to speak, from your old world. Before he takes almost like a liquid metal like form and just seeps into the blade, becoming one with it.
Is it done?
It is done. The entirety of that extra dimensional space remains, but it is now very similar of a visage to your original home, that palace, with the beautiful white and silver marble like adornments. You can hear the sound of water cascading down from those waterfalls that you'd remembered in that sky city that you had been raised in and lived a lot of your life in. Your space starts to take on that form in the visage, and you get the essence that you can move in and out of it again as you wish.
Okay, well, I think there's some things going on outside that probably require some attention, but trust me, Pasha, we will, both of us, be free of our prisons. And then I'm going to leave my vessel.
Okay. So, moments after the Shadow Blade breaks, the fire completely dissipates from that Sunblade. You see it lose all of its glow and essence, and it also fades to almost like gray, and then just becomes ash, spilling out onto the table below. As that happens, Elwyn rematerializes standing atop the table, with his new greatsword sort of pressed into it softly. As you do, Elwyn, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Am I still flying, or am I
No,
not?
you're not flying. You're on the ground. You're on the table, I should say, atop the table.
21.
Okay, so there's a big burst as the entirety of the world shakes. You reemerge in the environment within the World's Edge Inn. You're shaken, almost knocked from the tabletop. You're able to sort of get down on your one knee and get a hand on the table, grasp onto it, and hold yourself. Looking around, you see Briar there, about to dump another bit of water on you, but
No, it's not about. I do.
okay, so Briar dumps water on you.
I blink in surprise and I just say, I probably deserve that.
You're welcome.
Splish is in the corner, reaching into a little brown sack, pulling rocks, eating them one at a time. Crix, where are you at the moment?
So during that whole thing, Crix is heading. There is an upstairs to this place, right?
Yes. Yeah, the upper balcony.
I am heading upstairs as I am speaking what seems like a long prayer to Timora. And I am looking for a room that probably has a window directed towards where that bubble is.
To Timora?
Timora, the Lady of Luck. It's my god.
Oh, gotcha. Yes. Okay. And you're looking for a room, you said?
Either a room or a window that's probably pointing towards where that
Okay.
where Tasa is.
Gotcha. Okay. And what's your prayer?
It's not a prayer so much as I'm casting commune with nature.
Okay.
So as I get to the window and whatnot, I am basically asking Timor to grant me knowledge. And what the knowledge that I want is I want to be able to sense within 3 miles of me any powerful celestials, fae, fiends, elementals, or undead.
Whew. So there's a shitload of a lot of those things around you. So you clearly sense the celestial essence of both Elwyn and his blade now. You feel the essence of two godlike figures. You can assume Nylea and Thassa in direct conflict. You can feel those essences and those powers surging and swirling all around the inn in a vast radius, further than you can sense and detect. And there is a vast, incredible amount of Fey-like energy and Fey creatures and magic in this vicinity as well. Within the inn, outside the inn, in the trees and the woods, all over the place.
Okay. The second thing I'd like to know, you did give me information about them too, but I do want influence of other planes of existence that are in play right now and 3 mile radius.
Okay. So you definitely feel connectivity with a chaotic realm. It's not something that you're familiar with or that you've interacted with before, but you feel the interconnectivity of it. You definitely feel an interconnectivity of the plane of Nyx. You feel a little bit of an underworld essence, the Erebos realm, which you can assume was connected with Galen, which is dissipating and shrinking. It's barely there, but you can sense it. And also a different plane that you can definitely connect with that Fey energy and magic.
Okay. And the last one doesn't even really matter, but I'll do it for shits and giggles. Terrain and bodies of water.
So the terrain itself is surging with a very like druidic natural energy. I'd say the closest thing I can tell you is like thorns. As far as oceanic essence, it's like swirling in the sky. It's very unnatural at the moment, but you can feel the connection to Thassa with that force in conflict with the opposite terrain, which is the essence of Nylea.
All right.
Also, I should mention you feel the same essence that you feel within Thassa within Splish, but a much smaller form of it.
Okay. I would assume I probably feel Nyx in there too, no?
Within Splish, yes. Within the gods themselves, you feel that Nyx plane. I think I had mentioned as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I do unless I can,
No, I'd say that.
take
I mean, yeah, that would take you some time to like channel and pull all this together. So that's you're up in that room getting all this information.
all right, that's fine.
Okay, Tacitus, I need you to make one more strength check for me.
Sorry, strength saving throw or strength check?
Just a strength check, straight strength roll.
That'd be a 17.
Okay, perfect. You feel another like massive force several times, attempting to push those doors open. For a moment, you and Sal are pushed back a bit of a ways as those doors sort of threaten to burst in, but you're able to force yourself, use all your strength to push them back. This sort of chaotic essence of this continues for another minute or two. It feels like forever as things are swirling and shaking, but it inevitably begins to dissipate. The force against the door slowly begins to become weaker and weaker until there's 10, 15, 30 seconds where there's no force. Everything starts to feel a lot more calm. The reverberations in the ground stop shaking. You hear a sound of almost, like you're on the beach and you hear the waves receding outside of the inn. Sal, for his sake, pulls away from the door and sort of like leans his back against it and slumps down, sitting down, like breathing very heavily. But for the moment, things appear to have calmed.
I think Tass is probably just gonna sigh.
Okay.
Exhale loudly.
Elwyn Breyer.
Gonna take a seat, rest my elbows on the table, and put my head in my hands.
I'm just sort of standing, staring at my greatsword.
Still on the table.
No, I've gotten down from the table.
Okay. Crix, are you going to make your way downstairs or are you going to stay up top?
No, I'm watching things from the top, trying to see if I can get an eye on Thressa.
You have no sight of Thassa or Nylea from the window that you're at. You can clearly see that things have receded. Everything is like dripping wet outside. You can see the trees themselves. Everything is dripping and soaked. But you see no more water surging. You feel no more power of that conflict. You feel like it has receded and ended. You no longer feel the presence of Nylea or Thassa.
Okay. I'll once I feel like dissipate and whatnot, I'll start heading downstairs.
Okay. So you all see Crix wandering down the stairs.
So accurate.
Everybody is
Literally.
exhausted. Most of the denizens within the inn are terrified.
Party.
You do see Splish in the corner, just sitting there with that sack of rocks, still eating them one at a time. Pretty calm, pretty relaxed.
I'll this is Crick's fashion. As I go down the stairs, I'm gonna go over to Sal, stand next to him, pat him on the shoulder, and go,
You remember that conversation that we might bring trouble or not?
He looks up at you. He's like, "Yeah, I remember."
Jeez.
Yeah, it's still a 50-50.
Oh my gosh.
He stands up and he very cautiously pushes the door open. On the outside, he pushes the door open completely now, saying that it's safe, and leaves it open, steps outside. From what you can all see looking out the door, it looks like a tsunami struck. Like everything is tattered and destroyed, like a tsunami hurricane-like event. Like a powerful storm blew through.
it looks like Florida after it got hit 3 times.
Yeah, absolutely. Trees are cracked and broken everywhere. Everything is soaking wet. There's debris all over the place. Sal steps outside, puts his hands on his hips, seems to be just trying to catch his breath, taking it all in.
Well, at least everybody's alive. Is my greatsword now my packed weapon?
Yes.
Okay.
It absolutely is. And we'll talk about that.
Okay, cool.
It is it's an enhanced form of a packed weapon now.
Sweet. I look to Briar and I just say, thank you for, bringing the blades inside. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I might have drowned out there probably if I respawned in that location.
Definitely
And
what would have happened.
I just want you to know that Oath is no longer here.
Good.
It was a risky gamble, but I think it worked for now.
Try to keep it that way.
We'll try my best. I think I'm not picking up any other weapons for the foreseeable future.
We'll see.
I don't think Owen's touching another sword again after that whole last 13 sessions. He's learned his lessons with cursed-looking swords.
The barkeep, for her part, stands back up the bear, begins to start writing things, collecting some of the mugs that have fallen over, moves out from behind the bar, picks up some of the chairs, as well as most of the other individuals here as well start sort of helping to clean things up. What are you doing, Justice?
I think I'll step outside.
Okay.
To see where Sal is.
Yeah, he's out there. As you step out, he puts a hand on your shoulder. I appreciate your help out there. Might not have been able to hold that door if it weren't for you.
Only the reasonable thing to do.
I
assume.
I don't blame y'all. Just so you know, I understand what's happening here.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not sure I understand what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, as far as you guys, you don't really understand what happened with Crix yet.
Crix is right next to me, right, or nearby.
Yeah, Crix.
Yeah, I'm kind of semi-close to the door. Probably drinking from a mug.
I'm gonna just glance at Crix.
Look, I'll say this much. Wasn't completely my fault.
You can insight that if
Nice.
you want.
I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah.
It's not like he's really hiding.
Yeah.
Your fault.
But to be fair, Crix also believes half of it's not his fault.
Yeah.
Briar's gonna get up, go over to Crix, and ask, so you want to tell us what happened?
Alvin will follow.
Yeah, sure. So that dark figure that we saw in the water was Thresher. She was not overly happy with me. More or less.
Kind of looks over towards Splish a little bit, and then kind of looks back to the group.
Still eating rocks out of that sack.
The little guy decided that he was going to introduce me in a way. Now, it seems he was kind of working with her in a way. She requested, after sending a goddamn 600-foot wave my way, and that bubble, thank you, more or less that she wanted us to abandon the quest to go to the Nyx. She more or less refused to answer me, told me that the only reason I was being given a chance is because I was kind to Splish all this time. Yeah. No. I flipped a coin and the coin didn't land in her favor. And she did not really like that very much. And Splish got me the hell out of there for what it's worth.
Conveniently leaving out the part where you shot Thassa in the chest.
Yes, yes I am.
Also
So
conveniently
leaving it
out.
up to chance as always.
I leave it up to my my goddess.
Well, I'm glad your goddess favored us.
Favored is a strong word.
I don't know if the word us recommends me.
So Splish helped you.
I think Splish might have thought that was going to go very differently than it did, and yeah, he chose to help me rather than his goddess.
Surprising of him. Suppose he's not so bad after all.
No, I don't think he's bad at all.
Still don't know what his intentions are, but
He might be a rock in a hard place and made his choice today. So
Unintended
he
as
might
he's
not
eating
be
rocks.
there anymore. Yes, he's decided to dissolve the rocks.
If I look around outside, do I see any sign of the two people we were fighting?
No, you see nothing left of them, nothing remaining of them.
I am kind of curious.
What's up?
I'm thinking about. I guess there's no point really. I was gonna try and locate Galen using my scrying spell, but I don't know if there's any point to it.
Think about it if you'd like. Just let me know if it's something you want to do.
I'll think about it.
It's the first time you guys have seen him in a very long time, and he has changed quite a bit.
I think
Yeah.
I'll turn to Sal and ask him, how can we... I assume we have protection of your goddess to thank for this inn not being wiped off into the river.
Yeah, for the moment.
How can we extend our thanks?
Well, I'm going to put this as kindly as I can. You can stay one additional night, and then I would request that you vacate this premises.
Hmm.
Very generous of you.
You've put a lot of people here in danger, but we can help you along your way, wherever you decide you would like to go. I can provide assistance. I appreciate your assistance in the defense, even though it may have been partially your responsibility. He looks over to Crix, gives you a bit of a glare. But
Just
again,
slowly drinks from the mug.
I understand a bit of what you're up against, and I won't hold it against you for now. But I still would like you to leave. I don't believe your presence here is welcome, if not from me, from the other people and individuals that stay within the inn here.
Entirely understandable. I think it's us who owes you our gratitude for allowing us to stay as long as we have in the first place, knowing that we come with some danger.
I know it wasn't your choice.
Would we be able to connect with any patrons that are willing to talk to us about where we might be going?
You can try. They might be none too happy, considering the events that just took place, but you can definitely try. What sort of information are you looking for?
What we're up against?
I thought that was pretty obvious.
Along the way.
What's direction you plan on heading?
Briar's
That's a good question.
gonna look at Tacitus.
Elwin awkwardly standing between the two of them.
I guess he'll return the gaze.
uh,
Well, what options do we have at this moment in terms of direction? Where can we get to from this inn?
Travel north towards the Phoenix Stair through the plains of Orescos if you'd like. You travel south through the Skull Vale. You can attempt to cross the mountains to the west. You'd have to travel past the river. Depends on what your goals are.
I see.
I doubt we'll just be able to live a normal life.
Not
No,
with the amount of gods that are after us at the moment.
I can tell you by the reaction I just experienced, no. You are being hunted.
Now, what the hell did we do to piss off Heliod? That's what I'd like to know.
So, Thrasha.
Cricks.
So Thrasha is apparently a Nyx being.
Das is a god.
They all Nyx beings.
They are all of Nyx, yes.
So yeah, we definitely pissed him off. It just goes back to drinking for the bug.
Saul, do you know if Thassa and Heliod are aligned with each other, and if both of them are aligned with Erebos?
Mythology says they're siblings. As far as alignment with Erebos, absolutely not. I'm sure you know the legends of Erebos and Heliod.
Sure. Yeah, everyone knows those, right? Yeah.
I think we've gone over it before, right?
Yeah,
we have.
Yeah, but you're pretending Elwin remembers, which he doesn't.
I give you the footnotes. Upon the creation of the universe, the origin of a lot of these gods, Heliod created the sun, looked back, saw his shadow, and despised everything about it, sort of a complete contrast to his entire existence. So he severed the shadow, banished it into what is now the underworld, where it became Erebos.
Right. So they don't like each other. And
they do not, on every level.
Now, I know we made an enemy of Erebos, but why would Thassa and Heliod be interfering with us as well?
Because
that seems odd.
We're not from here, I believe. I think it has to do with the other world.
How did they know? Why didn't they come after us
There's
before?
a reason we're here.
Yeah, but we've lived several lifetimes here.
Under their thumb.
So they realize we're now going against them?
Yes.
Begs the question, how many other gods are going to take action?
Sal sort of leans in. You know, from what I understand, they don't really pay attention to us very much. We're like less than insects to them, if you will. So if their gaze is now on you, something or someone must have tipped them off, directed their gaze to you.
I would say being sent to the underworld and escaping it probably
tipped a few people off, likely.
I've caught
So?
flies.
Crix, you told them about your interaction with Thassa, right? I think you just informed them about that, right?
Minus the part where you shot her in the chest.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything
But
else.
the demands of Thassa that you give up your quest. And,
Yeah, I definitely mentioned that.
so you still should have that resonating as a possible
Yeah.
reason.
So, how did they? I wonder. I have to wonder what happened on the ship before it was destroyed. I wonder if someone threatened what used to be our captain, or if they could commune with him.
I'm going to try and use scrying on the skeletal captain. Because it says I can see or hear a particular creature. It doesn't necessarily designate what kind of creature on the same plane of existence as me. So I'm going to try and see if he is on this plane of existence.
Okay, so you step away and begin to cast scrying.
Well, I look to the party and I just say, I'm going to try and see if that skeletal captain figure of ours has made it out alive somehow. Alive? Dead? Made it out dead? Made it out somehow.
What's her name? Navera?
Nazia.
Nazia.
I keep thinking Nemea, but that's not right.
Different.
Not quite. Nazia told us that she saw it strike him directly and he was obliterated.
Well, I don't believe her for a second, so
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna try and check for myself. And then I just plop a seat right where I'm standing.
Okay.
And close my eyes, and I'm going to cast Scrying. It's first hand. I've met the target. I don't know if it counts as familiar. I don't know if I know the target well.
We can call it familiar with the information you gathered about him, at least.
Okay, cool. I don't have any of the connection portions, like a picture, possession, or body part or anything, so we'll leave that out. So it's just going to be a -5 on the save modifier.
Would you be able to count the sword as a
Which
possession?
sword?
Oath?
Oh, it's gone.
It's
The sword.
It cracked
Both-
into dust and
both
fizzled.
have completely been disseminated. Yes, they're gone.
Are the portions of the shield that Tacitus cut in half? They're probably gone, right? Probably washed away.
I mean, when you finish your scrying, you can go ahead and check it out if you want. You'd have
Well, I was
to
gonna use
dig
it.
through the debris. Oh, so you want to do it
Okay.
before scrying?
I was gonna see if it's there because it might work as a connection to. I don't know if
I
it
mean,
would actually.
That would be a Galen connection.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm just gonna do scrying. Wisdom 17.
Okay.
And it's a -5 on its throw.
So we'll get to that. It's going to take a little time for you to do that. In the meantime, so while Elwyn is attempting to locate the skeletal captain, what are you guys doing outside here?
I think we need...
I'm gonna turn. I'll turn to or I guess when Elwyn steps aside, I'll say to Briar, I still think that finding the Phoenix Stairs does not need to be our immediate next goal.
Do you have something else in mind?
What I mentioned before. What was it? The collectors?
Right. You wanted to try and find them within the Skull of Vale.
Yes. Our other option is we head to the Skull of Vale, where people that know others of supposedly our kind have been taken. I feel like
Good.
I feel like charging up the only known mortal entrance to Nyx, now that we know that at least 3 gods are hunting us, is unlikely to succeed.
Sal steps in at this point. Says, if you wish to travel into the Vale and seek the Otherworlders, I can provide you a guide, but you would be entering the Feywild. They reside there, deep within. I cannot say you'd be welcome.
Something that may not dislike us, something that may not like us versus something that we know is already our enemy.
Wilds are very dangerous. You could become lost there forever.
We're already damned, aren't we?
Are you?
Was that a question in character?
Yes. Sort of raises
Well,
an eyebrow at you.
given this attention, I'm not sure how else to think of it.
So you wish to travel into the Feywild and seek these Otherworlders. They,
Maybe there are some other allies that we can meet.
potentially. I know that they are hidden deep within somewhere. I don't know where to begin to tell you how to find them. But I can provide you a guide, somebody I trust. It could take you at least into the wilds through the Vale, if that is the path you seek.
It's not my decision, but we'll have to convene with the others.
Crix and Briar, do you have any input here?
No.
I'm struggling out of character.
Alan wants to ask a
about in
question, but
character?
he's busy scrying.
I'd
so.
say at this point you could be finished with your scry. You are unable to locate any essence of that individual on this plan.
Okay. Owen stands up and just shakes his head and says, no luck on the locating part. But a question for you, Saul. You said that sometimes Otherworlders end up here and somebody comes to collect them. Who informs these collectors to come get these people?
There are beings of power within the wilds. I believe at least one of them can sense them on a level, or at least some of them. They don't collect them all. He motions to the individual that you had been speaking with, Tacitus, the one that seemed to recognize you, but was otherwise sort of mentally deranged. Yes. Gestures to him, who's still sort of has like replaced himself in that same bar stool, muttering to himself as if nothing happened here. But he motions to him, says, "This one's been here for quite some time, never was collected. Others come through, disappear as well. Don't know where they go, where they end up, but
So these collectors decide to arrive on their own.
they do. I've not spoken or interacted with any of them.
Why? I wonder why they haven't, or if they've noticed us and decided to ignore our presence.
It's only been a day.
Indeed. How long does it normally take for somebody to be quote collected?
How long has he been here?
Well, I'm talking
2,000 years?
Well,
I'm
they
talking
passed
more
over
the
him.
Give or
the
take.
ones that do get collected. How long do they take?
They're few and far between. Most of them were taken before my time here, so I couldn't be able to tell you any exact number.
I see.
You may be
Well,
waiting
I
for
will.
quite some time, and I would like you to leave.
Yeah, of course. If I looked at Tacitus and Briar and Crix, and I just say, if our ultimate goal is to travel to Nyx, but we take a detour to the Feywilds first, that is all right with me. As long as our final intentions are aligned.
I could agree with that.
Perhaps
That
Tacitus is right. Perhaps we do find some allies or something of that nature that might assist us.
Is
Or
there
we
a
get lost
phrase
in the
like in
Feywild.
for a penny, in for a pound?
I think in for a penny, in for a pound works.
No.
In
Well,
for a
there's no pennies
bronze.
in this world, so
In for a
In for a
bronze, in for a
bronze?
platinum.
yeah.
Sure. So I take it
Very
you've decided then you'd like to go into the wilds.
I think that seems to be the case. If you're able to provide us with a guide, I think we'd be eternally grateful.
I can provide you with a guide here. Not the most pleasant of fellows, but he'll get you there.
Elwyn mutters under his breath and just says, "Probably better than that Sam fellow, though."
I think Tacitus probably also thinks of Sam.
Our brainwaves were aligned for a minute.
God rest his soul.
Somehow it's Sam.
If it's Sam, I'm excited.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, it's gonna be fucking Sam back from the dead to guide us to the Feywilds. Very well, we rest for the night and then we head out in the morning.
Sal presses his fingers to one of the runes on his antlers and pulls it off. The rune itself pulls from the antler, becomes this beautiful little butterfly that he releases, disappears into the woods. Says, I'll notify your guide. They'll be here in the morning.
Sounds good.
Thank you for everything, Sal.
I would say thank you as well, but we're just going to keep it neutral. All right? Say it's nice to meet you.
Come on, we brought excitement, entertainment.
I don't know about that, Crix.
Why? Was it
Don't push
exciting
you.
entertainment?
He literally just walks past you,
It'd be a
Back
great
inside.
story to tell people.
sits back in his chair and just huffs and starts filling his pipe back up.
Elwyn just looks at Sal and says, if it's any comfort, you probably won't see us ever again.
Maybe.
Well, we'll see.
Are
You
there
have to
any
eventually
okay?
come back this way.
Important question. Are there any small pebbles on the ground outside?
There's quite a bit, yeah.
Okay. I want to pick up a particularly smooth one,
Okay, yeah, you can find one easily.
and I'm gonna go back inside and place it in front of Splish.
A peace offering? No way.
Glares up at you for a moment, looks at the little pebble, back up at you. It's as much as a creature without eyebrows can raise an eyebrow, he does so.
Eyes widen.
Very slowly reaches out, slides the pebble towards him, and then very quickly flips it into his mouth and swallows it. He gives you a little bit of a splish.
I'm just gonna nod.
All right.
Crix, did you tell us that Splish can talk, or did you keep that information to yourself?
I did not.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
I
Good to
left
know.
information out.
Good to know. Just wondering how much you left out. I see. Okay. All right. Well,
But he still a little wary of you, Tacitus, but he accepted the offering in the least. But he's still just staring at you at the moment.
Elwyn pulls his body to the bar and just sort of collapses in a chair and asks the bartender for a drink.
Bear looks very disgruntled at the moment, but she grimmles to herself a couple times, what you can assume are swear words. Pulls one of the cups from underneath the bar and places it on the table a little roughly in front of you and goes back to cleaning.
And then I just down one.
Refills.
And then Elwyn contemplates sticking it in his bag, but decides against it.
I guess so. You can long rest if you'd like, or you can use this time to interact with any of the patrons if you'd like as well, or anything else you'd like to do before inevitably you go for a long rest. That is.
I think a long rest is probably warranted, but do we want to try and get information on the Phoenix Stairs before we go to the Feywild?
Well, I think we now have more information on the Phoenix Stairs than we do the Feywilds. But we can try and gather more information on both. Because that we sort of got
Yeah, the
That's-
main thing that I'm wondering is like, we're gonna have to get past a dragon. What do we know?
Well,
Or what
first we
can
have to
we
get
know?
past. First, we have to get past the Gorgons and the Medusas.
Yeah, the Gorgons and the Medusas, but fight the fight the Gorgons and use the Medusa's powers against them,
Mirrors,
or
apparently.
the other way around?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
In terms of the dragon, I don't know if we know too much. I don't know if anybody knows much, but we can certainly try and ask. But I'm more concerned about the Feywild, the Skull of Ale, because that seems like a sort of black hole of information right now.
Yeah, I mean the Skull of Vale we're not gonna be spending much time in if we're leaving it for the wilds. And the
Yeah,
wilds
you're
are enormous.
the Skull of Vale is pretty large too. You're not sure where you'd have to travel to enter into the wilds. You might be traveling through the Vale for quite some time, if that's. So you don't know
Yeah.
exactly how long or where the crossing would be into the wilds.
All I know is that people avoid the Skull of Ale. And nobody was really forthcoming with the reason. Except that it's dangerous.
Phoenix Stairs are dangerous as well.
Yep, so.
Of everyone
Okay.
here, we knew one person that had tried to go up them, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Elwyn had sat down with that Nyx-born Leonin.
Spoke at length with Fel.
Yes.
I think in the downtime, I think as Tacitus wants to examine his memories, I guess specifically about Ishido.
Okay. Do you want to find like a private space to do this?
Let me think.
Because Ishido is there too. If you want to try to continue interacting with him as well, that is something you can do.
I'm gonna actually do. I don't have his sword still, right?
No, you give it back to him.
Okay, I'm going to. Well, I'm going to talk to him. I want to try and get his sword and hold it and see if that helps me.
Yeah, he's in the same spot again, having like regathered himself, muttering and staring into a cup.
Yeah, I'm going to like snap my fingers in front of him.
It takes a few snaps for him to pull himself out of that haze that he's in. But after a moment, he does sort of like very quickly like blink and look about and see you once again. It's like, my lord, my lord. Again, stands up immediately, almost knocking the stool down behind him, and does the exact same interaction. Pulls the sheathed blade and holds it. Gets on one knee in front of you. It's like, oh,
I'll take it from him.
okay.
A question, soldier.
Of course.
Do you
Anything, my lord.
recognize any of these people? And I'll point to the rest of the party.
He looks about. He looks very confused for a moment, but after several moments of looking from person to person, other members of the party, they were of the Alliance. They looked different, but they were of the Alliance. Your Alliance. He specifically looks at Elwyn, and you see him scowl. That one is of the Betrayer's family.
Elwyn sort of crosses his arms and says,
His father
Yep.
slew our Lord Shimatsu, your father, the great Oni. Would you like me to kill him, my lord?
No. He is not his father. I think he hates him more than you do.
He looks very conflicted, but he is inevitably subservient, and he bows his head once again, as you wish, as you wish.
Anyways, at ease, I just require your blade for a moment.
Yep, he allows you to take it. Stands up. Still like stands at attention. But you see him like slowly drifting away again.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll go either upstairs or to someplace like away from like I guess the crowd of everyone to try and examine my memories.
Okay. Ishido, just after a few moments, goes back again, stumbles back, sits back on that stool, and begins muttering to himself, and goes back to the same sort of lost form, back into that haze. So you move up. You can easily find an empty room and close yourself inside. And you want to try and search your memories, channeling through this blade?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll wisdom for me. Or
Definitely,
or history. I can give you history, but I think it's probably the same for you. I don't know if you have a bonus.
I do not have a bonus.
Okay.
History is worse.
Yeah.
That's not good either. 6.
Yeah.
Oof.
You struggle to maintain the contact. You do get flashes, mostly of the battle. Essentially with this blade as well, you know that it cut down many soldiers and warriors that were on the side of Theros in that battle. You can feel the essence of it and the essence of Ishido. You knew that he was higher up in the personal guard for Shimatsu, your father. I'd say with this you can definitely get some images of your father as well as this large, almost demonic looking creature, uh, almost completely surrounded in glowing red and black armor. A very fearsome figure, standing about 12 feet tall, 6 arms, all carrying katana-like blades. His armor was very samurai in nature. He had a very samurai-esque helmet with large golden horns. You definitely get the essence of him. You know that this was your father. You served your father on a level in his force, and he was a form of warlord that was called into service to defend after the attack from Theros.
Okay. I think that's it.
Okay. So while Tacitus is doing that, what are you guys doing on the outside there? Anybody else want to do anything or interact with anybody?
Do I feel like the room is sort of hostile to us at the moment?
A bit. Not entirely. Like they can clearly see that Sal has given you a pass, and they all have obvious immense respect for Sal. So they're not like aggressive towards you, but they're at the very least wary, at the very most a bit perturbed.
Okay.
Who looks the least wary and perturbed?
So the gnome that I had linked earlier mostly just looks neutral.
He's seen too much shit to be perturbed by this right now.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to care one way or the other. Splish is obviously Splish doing his own thing.
Are the Kenku and Fairy duo still here?
Yes, they're still there. They seem very much unfriendly towards you.
Great.
Both of them sort of passing angry glances at you as they are collecting their belongings and reorganizing their things that got scattered about in the chaos. I'd say other than that, the one Triton individual that was I'll give the image of him. He had a sort of large snapping turtle as a mount on the outside of the inn. He's still there. He seems for the most part like a little too jovial. Like he still seems like he's in a pretty decent mood. So not necessarily wary or upset with you, just sort of like in his own little zone.
All right.
I'm gonna be right back.
Okay.
Of any of the patrons here, besides the Kenku and the Fairy, are there any others that seem like they might be of the Fey realm? Or...
Many of them are. There's one that you recognize as a Harenkin, and you know that they are supposedly originating of the Fey realm. I'll give you an image of her. Just small white herringbone.
Cute.
She seems very nervous at the moment.
Of us, or just in general?
Of everything in general, I'd say is what you can gather, just giving her a passing glance, and she just seems very, very nervous at all things that have just happened.
Interesting.
I'm gonna talk to the gnome.
Okay. So you approach the gnome. He's very neutral face. He has just sort of sat down with a mug, turns to look at you, emotionless.
Nice.
All right. Greet him. Say hello. Apologize for the commotion a bit ago.
He gives you like a big huff, like, yeah, okay, what do you want?
We're looking to get out of here, but we'd like some information about what we're heading into. Are you familiar with either the Phoenix Stairs or the Feywild?
Yeah, I know about both.
All about what?
I know about both.
Both.
What do you want?
How much do you know about the Phoenix Stairs and why?
I travel the stairs in the mountain. I collect phoenix feathers. At the summit, I bring them down and I sell them to people.
That's incredible. And how do you make this journey? Are you on your own when you do it?
I'm on my own. I'm invisible the whole time, and I don't fuck with anything.
Yeah, that would be the way to do it.
I
So
know some
between
safe pathways, and I just mind my own business. I sneak up there, I collect what the phoenix sheds, and I come back down and I sell them.
He hates you so much. He's so done with this conversation. I love this little gnome.
fucking dying.
He's so good.
Oh. Are you
He hasn't
I just
blinked
have
the
to
entire
say,
time he's speaking.
I just have to say that this gnome is me when people talk to me at work. Literally me.
um are you willing to share what you know of this safe passage?
Not really, no.
How much do your phoenix feathers sell for?
Probably more than you've made in your entire pitiful life.
God damn. That's savage.
Uh I am both delighted and at a loss. Um
He almost hasn't moved like an inch. He hasn't blinked. He hasn't shifted or twitched. Just sitting stock stone still, staring at you with the most void, uninterested face you've ever seen in your life.
right. All right. So completely disinterested. No. What made you decide to start doing this? Just the money.
It's a family business. My dad did it. His dad did it. I think his dad did it. We all do it.
Again, I have to say I'm incredibly impressed. Are there other
You
people that
should
make
be.
this journey?
No, I don't think so.
I'm back.
Okay.
And so there's the Gorgons and the Medusas, the Red Dragon. What else is along the way?
There's Medusas, yes. And there's Gorgons. There's the Magma Dragon. You always want to avoid the magma dragon. There's the defenders of the portal towards the top of the mountain, the Nykthos guardians, and the phoenix itself.
Sorry, I'm typing. I'm also getting needles jabbed into my thigh.
Of course.
And so, are they in the order?
Sure.
So the portal is not at the summit?
The portal is near the summit.
All right, and do you know what these defenders are?
I don't know. They don't move because I don't fuck with them.
I see we've
As you
encountered
shouldn't.
someone very charismatic.
He's hilarious.
Is it the rabbit or the gnome?
The gnome.
This is the gnome.
The gnome. He's dead inside. It's great.
What's his name?
Never asked.
We don't even know.
Yeah, we sure didn't.
Fire just got right
I
into
mean,
it.
if Tacitus wants to butt in, say what's
Tacitus
your
is still
name?
upstairs.
Yeah, Tacitus.
Oh, right.
This
You're
is while
away. You're away.
Tacitus is drifting in memories.
Elwin is looking away and pretending that he doesn't know you. He's just like, I'm just gonna. he's like that's out of my skill level over there.
Yep.
That guy seems mean.
Well, I do have to thank you because that is more information than I had a moment ago.
Don't thank me. I really don't even want to talk to you.
Is there anything that I could do to help change that?
I don't know. Is there?
He is. It's hard in short campaigns when you don't really have anything.
Still staring at you, unblinking. You're not even sure he's breathing.
I like to imagine that he only breathed through his mouth.
Mouth breather. I mean, do you like stories? Do you like information?
No and no. I like to be left alone. So if it'll get you to leave me alone, I'll tell you whatever you want.
Oh, beautiful. I would love to never speak to you ever again if you'll tell me what I'd like to know.
Please.
Where's this safe passage?
I can't tell you that.
Can you show us?
No. You're
Not on a
trying
map or anything.
to push in on my business.
We're not trying to push in on your business. We're trying to go through the portal.
Why would you go through the portal?
It's a long story, and you said you don't like stories or information.
Why would you want to go to the underworld?
The underworld, huh?
Do you even know what you're talking about?
Man.
Oh, that's so good.
I am struggling as a human being right now. I mean, I'll leave you alone if you tell me what the safe passage is.
No, I'm not gonna tell you because I don't believe you won't steal my feathers.
I don't give a fuck about your feathers.
I don't give a fuck about you.
But
Bricks is like 7 feet away. Eyes going from one person to the other.
That's so funny.
oh man, do you know what the Otherworlders are?
Gives you like a snort. Yeah.
Well,
What?
there's some baggage that comes with that, and we're trying to drop off the baggage, and that involves going through that portal.
To the underworld.
We've already been to the underworld. What's going back?
The portal hasn't been used in centuries. It's overgrown. There are things defending it.
Did he say fiends or things?
Things.
Things. Well, did you see us battle out there?
No.
A couple of emissaries, or something like it,
Wow.
from Erebos and Heliod.
You must be very talented.
I am, thank you.
Yeah, great.
I imagine that Chris is just sitting there with like a bowl of popcorn.
Probably. And Splish has his little bowl of pebbles. Ellen's pretending he doesn't know us.
I was
I
downing
think
his drink
everyone
like
in the bar
that.
is pretending that no one knows anyone in this conversation.
Yeah,
Everybody
that's
has turned away.
There's
Yep.
just sparks
Yep.
flying into this combo, and everyone's like, "Ugh."
Oh, shut up, please go away. Shut up, shut up.
Everyone's like, I want no part of that.
Yep, nope. I don't know how to get out of the circle. It's just a loop.
When you're not talking, he just stares at you.
Hmm.
He hooks out a couple of small pieces of information.
Yeah, a couple of little pieces. So these things don't move, so you don't fuck with them because you shouldn't.
Those are the Nykthos guardians that don't move, not the portal guardians.
Oh, I apologize. So what do the portal guardians do?
Oh my god.
They guard the portal. What else are they?
What do you mean, what else are they? They're guardians of the portal.
Bricks just kind of slowly leans in towards Briar and goes, "That's your turn to speak."
Oh my god.
Crix, would you like a turn to speak?
Oh
I'm not
god,
sure if I can
there's
handle his
more of you?
energies.
Pull him into it. Yeah.
There sure are more of us. Crix, did you know that there's a completely safe passage to get all the way up to the summit of the Phoenix Stairs?
You don't say. Is this a completely safe passage? Who knows?
Well, this fellow apparently knows.
I
And I
really
apologize, I didn't catch your
wish I
name.
was dead right now.
I feel like at this point, Tassis
You-
is probably coming out of the room
Yeah, at this point,
and hears like only these three voices talking.
yeah,
in
everything
the
else
entire
is
bar.
almost deathly silent. Every now and then, somebody puts a drink down, you hear a clack or a clink, but everything else is gone totally silent.
As Tassus is descending the stairs, Elwyn sort of locks eyes with him and just like there's a slight like sweat going down the side of his face. And he looks back at the conversation happening behind him. And he's just like he like nudges his head in that direction.
But he sighs. My name is Alacork Shingard.
Alacork Shingard. And it's the Shingard family business of
I think Tass is probably gonna walk back upstairs backwards.
Love the help. Love the support.
You got this, Spray.
No, I don't. Yep. Crick sure has nothing to add there.
No, I'm letting you handle this. You are the master of the chit chats.
You know, if I was
Master of
able to roll
idiocy.
on something, I would be the master, but I have to actually use my fucking brain.
I
Use it
mean,
without
I'm not so much the mastery of idiocy as much as chaos.
Can you make your lizard friend shut the fuck up? Because that
Oh, that was Chris grabs the chair, turns it around, and sits down. You just invited chaos to the table. I like this.
Oh my god.
Great.
So, what can we talk about? How about the time that we were down in the underworlds? That was quite fun. We got to see a lot of things. Fought in a gladiator pits. I became a champion at one point. I've shot a couple of gods in the face with magical arrows that actually
Wait, a
hurt
couple
them.
of them.
A couple.
I mean, just a single one.
Elwin swings around and he's like, a couple of them. Wait a second, Crix. Back up there.
Alicorn hasn't
Shinkard, you're only making your evening worse by not giving them what they want.
He
Yeah,
looks,
you know,
he looks at Briars. I'm sorry. Did he say something? I fell asleep.
Oh, he fell asleep.
well,
That's
if you're able to
cute.
fall asleep while we're here, then I don't think that you'll mind our company if we continue, yes?
Look, I could leave at any moment. I don't have to stay here. Okay?
Where you headed?
Away from you.
Well, that's going to be interesting because I'm heading your way.
Wonderful. I'll make sure to get you killed.
I mean, this god's trying to kill at least me. That hasn't happened yet. I don't know how much luck you're going to have.
I don't care.
You know, I think this conversation has been about productive as it's going to be.
It's
I know
been
it's-
productive.
You know, a little bit, actually.
Wonderful.
You didn't want my thanks, but
Crix leans
you again.
forward. Crix leans forward as she's talking and goes, "Who hurts you?"
You are hurting me right now.
I'm not doing anything of the sorts.
I'm gonna leave.
You just get up and walk away?
I'm going to the bar.
He says, huzzah. Are you gonna leave too? Would you like to buy a phoenix feather?
I'm very interested in seeing one.
No.
Then how do I know that you have one for sales?
Where's your currency?
What you're looking at for my wise?
3,000 gold pieces.
3,000?
Yeah. 4,000 for you.
I mean, I was going to say that's kind of cheap.
Well,
But then again, I'm a druid. I can go get them.
wonderful.
Oh, many rare things I can get as well. Oh, I can
Cool.
turn into rare things.
You want to go do that now?
I think I'll do it in the morning. It's nice to know that there's a phoenix up there. Maybe I'll get something from the dragon too.
Yeah, have fun.
Oh, I whiz. I'll also go see about that gate.
Stares at you.
Maybe talk to the guardians there and whatnot. Maybe figure out how to open the gate. Be fun.
Cool. Go do it.
For a split second, I wave my hand over my other hand. I cast Druidcraft. I create a little what is it, crown of flowers and stuff, and I put it on top of his head, and I go.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Surely a creature of chaos.
He reaches up, snaps his fingers, and it catches fire. And just burns to ash and drips like all over his face. He's basically covered in the ash of it. Doesn't blink. Doesn't move aside from that.
Horrifying, honestly.
Continues staring at you the entire time.
I just walk over to Briar. I'm like, someone hurt that boy deeply.
Can
we
get an interlude where Sam and this person interact?
Oh god.
It's just Bird talking to
I
himself.
don't know if I can handle that.
Unstoppable force meets immovable object.
For real. Oh, that circle was bad enough with me. I can't imagine those two.
Elvin.
He was a normal gnome until he had to sell a certain parrot to Sam. please just take this parrot. Jason! It's driving me nuts.
Elwin looks to Crix and Briar and just says, "You are both far braver than I. Good fight out there." A brave battle.
She's willing to serve me. I'll, have some wine and I'll raise my glass to Elwin at that.
It was like talking to an angsty teen.
What is the Haringen doing at this moment?
The Haringen took the time during that conversation to start moving upstairs. The Haringen is walking up the stairs, likely trying to find a room to hang out and maybe sleep.
Okay. I'm just gonna let them go.
Okay. Tacitus, are you still up at the top of the stairs? Did you completely back out of this?
I went back to the room, so
Okay.
if it's been about like 10 minutes or so, I probably would have come back down.
Sure. Yeah. Did you guys want to do anything else aside from drink at this juncture?
What's the Triton doing?
Helping clean up. Sort of the entire time he's just been helping clean things up. He seems to have a good rapport with the bear, the bartender. Every now and then they'll exchange words happily. They seem like they enjoy each other's company.
Once I finish my drink, I'm going to walk over and start to help this Triton clean up a little bit.
Okay. He sort of gives you a smile and a nod.
He's like, "What's your name?"
Oh, my name? My name's Armaeus. They call me Armaeus the Lovely.
I see. I'm Elwin.
Elwin, nice to meet you, Elwin. Great to meet you. He grabs your hand and shakes it very enthusiastically.
I see you're the one with the turtle outside, right?
Oh, yeah, that's Meep.
Meep, I see.
Yeah, Meep's my bro.
You have an interesting aura about you. What's your story?
My story? I mean, I'm a traveler, an adventurer, if you will,
An adventurer, I
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Have you ever ventured through the Skull of Vale?
Oh, no.
I see. I keep hearing how dangerous it is, but nobody can seem to tell me why exactly.
Well, let's see. There's monkey things that'll steal your brain and eat them. There's fairies and pixies that'll steal all your shit and your clothes when you sleep and leave you naked in the woods. There's giant crab-like creatures that'll melt your skin with their spit. There's these bat creatures. I don't know what to call them. They're just big bats with wings, and they fly around and they shit everywhere. So while you're wandering through the Vale, you can get shit on by these bats. I mean, there's just these pits of muck. You could be walking, just having a great time and step into one of these pits and just disappear into a pit of muck, and who knows where you went. I don't know. That's just off the top of
As
my head.
this is coming down, I want him to glance at Saul to see his reaction to another conversation
Saul
starting it.
literally has his palm on his forehead, and he is just leaned forward, exhausted, and just puffing his pipe constantly.
Well, at least our conversation is not as full of sparks as the last one. Elwood just sort of like nods at all of this and says, "I see. How interesting."
I'm gonna walk up to Elwyn and say, maybe continue the conversation outside for a bit.
Well, I think maybe once we're finished cleaning, we can step outside. What do you say? I look to our Triton friend.
Oh, I don't really want to go outside, man. It looks like pretty gnarly out there. I think I'm just staying here.
How's Meep doing out there? Does he
Meep's
need?
upstairs.
Oh, he's upstairs.
Yeah, Meep's in bed.
He fit through the door.
Oh, yeah. He can kind of duck into his shell, and I roll him sideways and push him.
I
Tass
see.
is going to sigh and just step away.
Elwood says, "Well, anyway, thanks for the info.
Yeah, no worries,
I'll leave
dude.
you.
It was
leave
real
you
cool
to
to
it."
meet you, L, bro.
Sure. Yeah. That's right. And then I go back to sit beside Briar. I guess we're going to the Feywild's blind. Then I just continue drinking.
Two of the most helpful people in the world.
What
Right
I've
here in
learned
this
is
bar.
we're going to gain no information from here, and we are going on our adventures knowing nothing.
What's new?
You're right. We made it through the underworld knowing nothing, so this isn't too new.
You made it out of the underworld knowing nothing, so that's good.
Also true. How bad could the Feywilds be?
Any other
famous last
interactions you'd like
words.
to have?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over to Splish.
Okay.
Elwyn's gonna take his drink and go upstairs to his room.
You're long resting.
And he's just gonna sit with his sword for a bit, just study it.
I'm gonna sit down next to Splish.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look at him and just go. So I think you and I need to have that conversation at some points.
He looks up at you when he squints a little bit. He goes, "Splish,
Yes, not in the Splish language.
splish."
He's like, "Don't spill my secrets, man."
I'll be up in my rooms. We'll have the talk stairs.
Splish.
Just gets up and walks away to the room.
Before
Go ahead.
Crick leaves, Briar's gonna give him back his mandible. Now depleted of poison.
Drained.
Oh. I see. Well, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you find a use for it?
Yes, I extracted the poison.
What exactly is it going to do?
Kill you, I bet.
Hurt someone.
Okay.
Quite badly, I imagine.
It is quite a lethal poison. Yes.
Yes, I would assume so, given the size of that spider.
Continuing on to
Hopefully-
your room, Crixie.
Yep, that was all.
Briar, you go back and sit at the bar? Or?
If everybody else has got back to their room, I'll retire.
There are other patrons if you'd like to interact with anybody.
I think I'm good.
Is that enough?
Okay. Elwyn, you've gone back.
Yeah.
Tacitus, you're in your room. Briar, you went back up as well.
Yeah.
And okay. Crix, you go up to your room. About 5 minutes later, you hear just like a dunk, 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 dunk on your door. Very light.
I'll go over and open the door and then go back to like where my bed is without even like looking.
Okay. Splish very quietly slips in and closes the door behind him. Walks up to you, looks around, like looks at the window, looks eagerly at like everything, making sure that there's nobody listening or watching. Then he looks at you and goes, "What do you want?"
What do I want? What the fuck
What do
do
you
you want?
What do you mean? What do I want?
Like, this whole fucking time you've been saying Splish and you can talk regularly.
Look, I just didn't trust you, all right? And I still don't trust you, all right?
Don't give me that you don't trust me stuff
That's
at
how I
this
don't
point.
trust you. That's it.
You took me to your so-called I won't say goddess, I'll say ally or whatever the hell she was.
That's my mom, and you shot her.
Does anyone else hear this shouting?
Stop moving
You
his
can
arms!
probably hear like a bit of a attempt at a low hushed argument, but it's getting louder.
I'm dying.
What the fuck do you mean, your mom's?
It's my fucking mom, man. What do you want me to say?
Why couldn't you just tell me beforehand? Like, all you do is you go, Splish. I go up and I'm like, is she a friend or an ally? You're like, oh. How am I supposed to take that?
I'm undercover. You know what? You're trying to blow my. You're gonna blow my cover right now.
I'm gonna blow your cover. How's your
Can I
mom doing
figure out
this?
if I'm in a room next to Crix?
Roll it.
over.
Roll a d6.
What D6?
Yeah, just a d6.
3?
You're in the room adjacent on the right side. So you can,
If I hear Crix, I'm just gonna bang on the wall.
you can definitely hear Crix arguing with something.
Yeah, okay.
You can't make out
If I
what's
hear
being
Crix
said, but, yeah.
arguing, then I'm just gonna bang on the wall.
All right, I'll keep it down. God damn.
I'm leaving, man. I'm leaving. Don't talk to me. Splish, okay? And then he moves out and just opens the door, looks out both ways, makes sure nobody's there, and just leaves, slams the door shut behind him.
What the fuck was that?
Would you like to log rest?
I just sit there, just shake my head, and just yeah. You can fucking take a long rest.
All right. You all settle in for your long rest, and I think that's a great place to end our session tonight. We'll pick
We
back.
can keep going if everyone wants.
I cannot.
How much longer do you have? Or how much
I
longer
can
do you
go
guys
for,
feasibly want to go?
I'm good for whenever.
I can keep
I
going.
didn't Glassy just say I can't?
Oh,
Or is that-
I
No,
no,
I think Glassy's
I'm
just dying.
simply dying at everything that has happened in the last 20 minutes.
Understandably.
Whiplash. I mean,
It's up to you.
I
I'd
feel like
say-
this is a good stop. Like, is there a good stopping point within like another hour or so?
I mean,
Yeah,
we're probably
I
gonna
feel
have
like-
a conversation and head out somewhere.
I would be fine ending here.
Yeah, this is a good stopping point. I think the continuation would be the morning where you would inevitably meet your guide and move on towards the Veil. I think that's a good place to start the next session.
Yeah, I mean, I would say let's go on if there's another good stopping point. If not, then I would just call it.
Yeah. This is the best stopping point, I think, potentially, unless we went for like another 2 hours or so.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only like other reasonable stopping point would be waiting for the guide to show up and then stopping right before we leave.
Yeah, that's like another 5 or 10 minutes, inevitably.
If it's that short, then I think it makes more sense to just keep it in the next session.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice starting point for the next session because
Yeah,
you'll be
we
getting a
can
lot of
be done.
information on the Veil and everything, things like that. So I think
Okay,
just for like retention purposes, it's better that you hear that at the beginning of next session as opposed to like the end of the session. So yeah, I think this is
Especially since we're missing next week.
yes.
Oh yeah.
We're back on the 25th.
Yep. Cool. Any questions?
Yeah, what the
No
fuck?
questions. Yeah, what the fuck?
What?
Wait. Where is it? Where is it?
That was
Yeah, here.
there. It is. That was the session of all time.
That was a great session. Yeah, you guys are great.
That was something.
You shot my mom.
That's my.
I like the picture that this is Splish right now.
No, it's not. That is absolutely Splish. He's
I'm
like,
glad,
you literally shot my mom.
I'm so glad that went down like it did.
That was so good.
Oh shit! Couldn't have been better.
Well, so long, my two blades.
Yeah.
Just one now.
I think that resolved like way cleaner than I thought it could have.
Yeah, I
Okay,
didn't think it was gonna go that well.
Yeah.
Harmony meet the gnome.
What's up?
Can Harmony meet the gnome?
Oh,
Oh
God.
my god.
I don't want
That
to
would be
DM
something.
that. I don't know.
That would be something.
Can Harmony meet Sam?
Harmony would fucking kill Sam in the first 30
Yeah,
seconds.
she would eat him alive.
I mean, sure.
That's the reason.
That's the reason.
But with the gnome, that's another rock and a hard place.
Yeah, that I don't know how that would end.
It
Oh my
wouldn't have
God.
ended with her walking away to the bar.
No, it would be
Yeah.
a inevitably
Bar fight.
everlasting contest of will. And
I don't know why you think this is over. There's still morning.
Oh my god. Briar almost getting mind controlled was an interesting development. I was not expecting that.
I also
Was the DC 8?
yeah, it was.
Jesus.
You were off by one.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting when I cast Remove Curse to be blinked into the sword. That was very unexpected.
Yeah, basically, like, you remove curses was like remove the link, and then he had an opportunity to counter, and he rolled a nat 20 on his
Jesus.
like influence, so he was able to pull you in. But at that point, you like had removed a lot of his power. This is how that went down.
He wasn't expecting these hands afterwards.
And Pasha rolled really well as well. Yeah, these new dice, man.
Dangerous on both sides.
This is why one set of
And
dice
strong.
are really truly dangerous. Classy.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna cut the stream, and that'll wrap us